Okay, so what we're seeing here is going to be a very specific rollout from the Gladiators here. So this was this happened last year in Season 2 quite a bit when these different kind of rotations were actually used. I don't actually remember the exact scenario in which these rollouts were used, but they are sending the Lucio and the Diva out around here to try and get this extra space. Sometimes it was used to stage a dive, sometimes it was used to prevent the opponent from staging a dive, but what Vancouver is doing here is they're going to be using, we'll just watch the start of here, so this isn't going to be that exciting, but basically what's going to happen is that they're going to use that Symmetra right on that platform right there so that they can get the extra speed to make it to this area so that they can use this kind of cubby area here in order to recover any resources and fight from this location, because this prevents LH Cloudy from having a place where he can use corners to the same kind of advantage as Fisher and the rest of the Vancouver Titans do. However, the very interesting part is that Space and Big Goose have already come right here. So let's take a look at that.
Ready for battle.
Okay, so Space and Big Goose here are going to be rolling out
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
on the right side. So they split 2 and 4. And then they come out here. So now the interesting part is what are the two of them going to do? So this is an interesting kind of pincer between Space and LH Cloudy. LH Cloudy getting pretty low. Yeah, this is probably not what Vancouver expected. Space already used the booster. Got the Mega Pack. Is going to get frozen here from Haxel, but he did manage to get the Mega. Didn't quite finish off Fisher. Genuine Fisher super low here. And they don't have the sightline to their Ana, so they're both probably going to drop here unless they don't go back in. They're both super low. They've got the sleep on Stitch, but Twilight can't heal their tanks right now. They're just trying to get out. Oh, they don't push them with that little bit of HP left. Okay, so very interesting rollout from the Gladiators there. I liked it. I'm not sure what kind of rollout they were exactly seeing there. This is the kind of thing, these kind of plays, these specific rollouts, usually happen later in the season once these kind of rollouts have become de facto standard, and then one team kind of like changes it up based off of a lot of footage or a lot of scrimming. So this is something that Gladiators may have iterated to through scrims or something like that, but it's going to be unlikely that we actually see the specific initial rollouts that led Gladiators to make that play in the first place. Maybe they were used to having this work against teams that tried to use this specific area when they played Reaper May, and they scouted that Titans liked playing Reaper May. You know, maybe that's a possibility. Either way, it worked out pretty well for them. It could have worked out even better if they had just gotten that last little bit on both tanks who were isolated from the Ana and didn't have any healing. But either way, a little already kind of some mind games and good gameplay between these two teams. Is this the new plat chat? It is. Welcome. Do you still do VOD reviews? And if so, how do I apply? I was going to start this week. So either going to do them over the weekend or like Monday or Tuesday next week. But yes, I do VOD reviews again, yes. Jayne starts streaming just as I'm out for the weekend. Blah. Where are you going, Peter? You hanging out? The freezes of Maze are terrifying in slow motion. Yeah, it really looks like a fire hose. At this point in time, he hasn't started to do all this. Yes, true. How's your Friday going? Quite well. Okay. So that's the initial rollout.
Mitigating a lot of damage of his shield, just trying to build up the Shadow for now.
I really liked that flank play.
Looking for opportunities. Big Bionade comes out there from Twilight.
They did get
Jaro
cloudy.
forced to use the Ice Block to try and purge it off. A great move.
Ooh.
Jaro
I missed that one on the replay viewer.
Not necessarily needing to use the Ice Wall in the process.
Yeah, Vancouver
but so
will get
far,
healed
no
up here now
casualties on
and
either
should
side.
be able to have a pretty
Rotation
sizable
of both teams
advantage
trying
for
to
this
get
point
position.
cap.
Yeah, and with the main
I
Reaper
don't
coming out
think
from the
Gladiators
Vancouver
are going to be able to
Titans, they want
contest.
go and fight.
No.
But for the Gladiators, they want to wait for Birdring to get picked. Nice aggressive play by Big Goose, though, to take out Twilight. That should be an opening.
Yeah, and his plays like that are going to absolutely crack open
Louder.
this point for them. However, Stitch is going to answer back with a kill of his own onto Cloudy. We'll see now if the Vancouver Titans can
Not the
capitalize
greatest
off the back.
spectating
You can
angles
see now
here.
The aggressive maneuvers being made. Slime gets the kill onto Birdring as well. Shaz keeping his team up from afar. Good Biograms to the back line, but the Earth Shadow by Fisher connects onto two of them. Allows Stitch to really clean up.
Okay, I'm going to have to go right back into the viewer to see how that fight went. Okay, so here's the initial cap. Cloudy's going to be back on the left side. Are they trying... Okay, so this is what opens it up, is they get Twilight right off the bat, right? So Twilight's here.
The objective is now active.
Okay, so space, and where's Big Goose? Oh, Big Goose was already back there. Where did Big Goose come from? Okay, Big Goose, where are you? Is he gonna go up and over the top? Okay, that's why I didn't see him. So he's calling for the dive as soon as he sees the target. Okay, so they finish him off. Really nice play from Big Goose there. Cloudy gets finished off. Why does Cloudy go in on that? I was like, where did Big Goose come from? But I guess that explains why
The objective is now
Vancouver didn't see him either. Okay, so there's the dive there. Is he gonna die or charge in? Well, he gets the D-Mag. He's in trouble there. Okay. So that's how that starts. Big Goose scouts Twilight, calls for the dive with space. They get it. Cloudy then tries to go in, gets the D-Mag, but feeds. And then Big Goose... No, that was Slime, sorry. Slime frags Bird Ring. Slam from Fissure, gets space and Jaru. And then they maintain the cap. Okay, so Lucio's already doing a lot of work here. Where's Slime at? Nah, that's too fast. Nope. Okay, so here's this initial attempt at a peel. Not gonna get enough done. Here's the charge that comes in from Cloudy. Slime's just playing a little bit of defense against Big Goose here. And then he's gonna do the same thing! Sees Shaz, but decides to go for Bird Ring instead. Oh, careful there. So the interesting decision here is why go after the Widowmaker instead of the Ana? I'm going to assume that he probably thought that the Ana had cooldowns up and was sitting closer to that mini health pack. Okay. So here's at this point in time. Who do you go for, Shaz or Bird Ring? I assume that Shaz still had the nade, at least that'd be the assumption that I had. And then seeing Bird Ring and seeing them split, especially Shaz being able to drop back onto that health pack. So Shaz is... He doesn't have nade, but he does have sleep. And then Bird Ring... Yeah, where are we? Nope. That's not Slime. That's Slime. Gets that frag and escapes. Nice. Got headshot by the Mei, but nobody else shot him. Gets the Mega, and he's right back into it. Nice stuff. Okay. So how is... How are they going to defend against this? Nah, come on. I guess we can do it this way. Oh, I hate maps with ceilings. It's unfortunate. But let's just do it here. Okay. They're all going to play right side? Okay. They're just all going to play right side. The Mei is also going right. Okay. Okay, so this choke is now going to be a game of the Meis to see how they can actually get in. Now, the interesting thing, how Jaru is going to do it, he could do a wall along this line here in order to kind of zone them off and be able to get in. But then there's going to be the question, like, if you use that wall in order to try and get through these chokes, that means that the initiation is always going to be with the next Mei, next time you're kind of lined up or something like that. So these are the kind of fights that I am very, like, there's so many different ways that you could just be like, oh yeah, you obviously just play like this or something. But, you know, pros, there's sometimes in the mind games with the rock, paper, scissors of using your cooldowns like this, it gets to the point where it's really kind of almost non-intuitive what the end state of this kind of mind game between the Meis is. So they're playing really close because they have a Reaper. That's good. There's that initial wall in order to split, and then there's the counter split. So where was their Mei? Yeah, Huxel was right there. So let's slow this down and go back. Okay, so Mei from Jaru is right here. So what did he attempt to do with this wall? I'm going to be spending a lot of time looking at walls just to kind of break this down really hard. So just hitting the right clicks, now going for the wall here.
Locking them off. Ice wall coming up.
I'm not sure if that was a misplaced wall or he was specifically trying to get them to all line up so that he could chain freeze them. Ooh, but his blizzard gets canceled. And Haxel chucks his. That's going to finish off Cloudy. Not that it was super necessary. Axel's also pushing through. Sleep's not going to matter. Shaz is going to get frozen here. Taken out by Fissure, who gets the 3K. Nice. Okay. Well, we need more data points on our... Banner, what are you doing? Chill. Okay, they're chasing him back to spawn. Next, Maywall. Can you do a poll here? I haven't set it up yet, but yes. Good to see you, Luke. Do these videos get saved? Yes, they get saved, and they also get uploaded onto YouTube. Control I toggles the overlay. Hey, look at you. Look at you knowing all these hotkeys, Andrew. Thank you. It'd be great if 3Play is allowed to create 3 custom spot cameras you could switch to watch the general fight. Does it have the same hotkeys? Because it used to be Control 1. No, it does. It does allow you to do it. It's the same command as the spectator camera. So I can do... Oh, it doesn't catch camera angles, it just catches camera locations. But yeah, you can definitely do that. You'd have to set them up each time individually, but yeah, those commands do exist. If you were wondering how I did that, you just press Control and then a number, and then the next time you just press the number, it goes back to that spot. We use that a lot for kind of like scrim footage. A person who has, who is recording the scrim will have set camera spots and just switch between them. Okay, next one.
Defense matrix activated.
Okay. How is Jar going to be using this wall? Looking for May. There's immediately the split. Okay, let's try that again way slower. So it didn't look like Jaru walled it at all there. Okay, let's go forward. Okay, so first of all, let's look at the ultimates, just because they are going to be using quite a few of them here. So Shaz has the Nano Boost. Cloudy and Space both have their tank ultimates, so you're going to be use those, especially with the Reinhardts here. You can, in the case of the Gladiators here, they have a play because you can actually do the Flash Shatter. But it's always going to be really difficult to actually have a team lined up there and not telegraph that in a way that Fisher's not just going to block it with a shield tilt or Janu's not going to eat the flash, right? So they do have that play. It's going to be really, really hard to pull off, especially in a cornered area. That's a play that you would go for in much more of like a linear area on the map, where if the opponent is all lined up behind their Reinhardt, that's kind of a play that happens more along the lines of like King's Row or something like that. But in this meta, nano boosts are quite frequently going on to the Reinhardts. Who was it who was nano boosting the McCree? It was New York, right? New York was nano boosting their McCree, but early in the fight, that's not going to get a lot done, especially again in cornered areas where the defense matrix or the shield is just going to be able to survive long enough for them to get away and wait out the nano, or at least zone out the McCree sightlines. Titans, Stitch has the Death Blossom. Both Mays used their Blizzard last fight. Jano has the bomb. Twilight also has the nano, and then Slime has the beat. Okay, so I'll be interested to see how Slime uses the beat here, because they used Blizzard, so he could try and use beat early in this fight to make sure that he has beat for the next Blizzard that Jaru has. That wouldn't put him too far out of sync there. Yeah, okay, so let's see this. Okay, so how is this fight starting? Micros are coming in initially. Slime, Haxel, Twilight, Stitch, all on the far side. Space is just trying to be an annoyance here. Immediately stepping in as Cloudy pushes in. Gets the nano boost. Okay, so both nano boosts came out. And the second one goes on to Stitch, who has the Death Blossom. So he's going forward. Slam doesn't find anything. Slime is going to beat here. And he's going to drop his ult pretty much as soon as Space's defense matrix is about to run out, right? Yeah, so pretty much, like, he knows the timing here. He sees that Space's defense matrix him. Space doesn't really have any other choice. And then he starts the ultimate right as soon as the defense matrix is about to end. And then, so it should end here. Right there. And that'll clean everybody up. Wraith right at bird ring. And get space as well. Okay. And we didn't see Jaru's Maywall throughout that entire fight, right? We never used it? Oh, that's why we didn't see it. Okay. Okay. So Jaru not landing the sickest of walls, but let's keep going. Everybody's dead. Next fight. Okay, so first thing we'll do ult check. So Space still has his. Big Goose has his. Bird Ring's coming up on high noon. They could do the like amp speed high noon there. But again, going to be hard, especially at this initial choke, especially against Stitch. Fisher's got his hammer. Cloudy used his. Janu also has the bomb. Bombs aren't really being used in combos as far as I've been able to tell so far. Space is on the far side, but Hoxel's looking for him. Getting retreated there. Big Goose is going to try for the touch, but doesn't get it. Okay.
Score.
Let's turn the music down a bit. Music doesn't need to be that loud. Okay. The Titans take the first fight, or take the first map there. Will these be videos loaded on YouTube? Absolutely. I'm so excited finally moving from TV as a monitor to an actual monitor. Yay for improved response time. I can't even imagine the input lag that you would get from playing on a TV. That would be awful. Okay, Titans. Yes. Okay, so Shaz swapping over to the... Okay, I was going to be like Zenyatta. What? Okay, so Gladiators, both teams are going for the quick Symmetra teleports out the door. It does get them there a little bit faster. Not tons, but probably about like a second or a second and a half, which, especially on maps like this, it's going to be who controls the mid ground, right? It's on other maps, it's not going to make that big of a difference, like attack or defense on things like Escort or Hybrid. But this one, it's kind of like this area, this little shrine right here, is going to be good because they can use that for defense, and the opponent was going to have to kind of cross this dead man's land if they are going to push them. So trying to take this center ground territory is really strong if you are going to be doing some sort of Reinhardt v Reinhardt match. So they want to get there first, and getting there second could just immediately lose or cause them to lose that first point fight. Gladiators showing the Moira. I assume that both Stitch and Birdring on this map are going to be switching. Why can't I do words today? I assume that both Symmetras here are going to be switching to the McCree. That would make the most sense. I'm curious as to why Shaz is going with the Moira. Maybe because you're able to bounce those orbs on the inside really effectively. Like this one, right? If you've got the Moira here, in this area, you can just throw the Moira orbs between the walls and get maximum value out of them because they're just going to bounce until they're fully used up. So that's a possibility. It's going to be fighting in pretty close territories here. But other than that, we'll see if the switch comes out. We'll follow the Gladiators.
Round 2.
So here's the Symmetra drop. Birdring's back. Both switch to Reaper instead. Okay. So they are going to be playing. And so Titans are going for the high ground. And then Gladiators are going directly for the point. So Vancouver sees this. They're immediately rotating. It's interesting to me that they went... like the Gladiators kind of went in front. That was an interesting pathing here. So, right here, Space kind of goes forward along with Shaz, and then the other three just go behind. Where is... Ah, you're right there. Why are you there? So you're going to be flanking around trying to find somebody? Maybe. Both the Reapers will be behind because of the teleport, but either way, just go like an interesting split here from the Gladiators. They didn't all go forward. They didn't all go back. But they made it to the point just fine. Okay. Now, Gladiators has the advantage because they're on the point first, and they have the ability to Maywall Titans off before they get to the point. So this was kind of like last year when this was happening. There were people who were going onto the point first, and the people who went onto the point first usually had to fight against kind of like double spam here, right? With kind of like the Pharah and the Hanzo or something like that, just two really high damage, and the name of the game was building up ultimates before the point unlocked, or if the point unlocked before they got captured, or if the point got captured before they got too much %, right? Just win as soon as possible by building your ultimates up here. But Titans not having that option here because they're playing basically a mirror comp, except for the flex supports there. It's going to be a lot more difficult. So again, we're going to be coming down to the Maywalls being so critically important. Is Jaru about to eat a headshot here? Maybe. Man, I love the replay viewer. Replay viewer is kind of cool. So, I'll probably look at Haxal's perspective just to see how they initiate with the wall, because they're going to have to do something in order to try and get onto this point. But that still allows Jaru, if the Mei wall from Stitch, or sorry, if the Mei wall from Haxal comes out in order for them to get onto the point, it still gives Jaru the precedent to actually get a splitting wall in response here. So, who do I want to watch first? I want to watch the Reapers or I want to watch the Meis? Is bouncing an orb off parallel ceiling floor more practical than walls? I don't play much Moira, but seems to me you can get more value if you can set up the orb in one spot as a healing or damage sentry. I think the difference is honestly pretty marginal. Yeah, I don't think it's that big of a deal. Especially if it's like a chaotic team fight or something. You're... like... I'd have to remember the exact area of it, but I would want it kind of bouncing around because the orb is going to slow down if it gets somebody attached to either damage or heal them, right? So I would bounce it in an area that covers more ground because the AoE of it vertically is going to matter a lot less than the AoE of it horizontally. So moving the orb horizontally is going to affect more of the area. Yeah, flex and main support definitions are always kind of a little bit wonky. They don't really mean anything anymore other than... because the problem with main support and flex support is that it's got historical reasons for being called that. Flex support used to flex, like, off of support and do other things. And then it used to be based off of whoever was playing Lucio, because Lucio used to be the main support, because Lucio... was never... like, Lucio was required 100% of the time for a very long time. You could never, ever play the game without a Lucio. So he became the main support because he was the guy who never flexed. And then it came around and some people were using it as the definition of who healed more versus who had more utility. And, yeah. Yeah. I mean, there's no real rhyme or reason to it anymore. You can kind of say whatever your definition is, but there's probably like 3 or 4 historical definitions that contradict whatever the hell you're trying to say. Why Moira over Ana? And why Ana over Moira on their strategies? So I was thinking that it's because Moira gives them more power for the actual sustain on the point, but I'm not sure if that outweighs the value of the nano boost. So we'll have to see how it plays out. I'm like, this is the first map of this meta that we've seen, and entirely new strategies that I haven't been watching scrims, so we'll have to check this out. But I don't think Birdering's gonna do much on this side, maybe. Stitch is teleporting somewhere. Oh yeah, well that fight evolved in exactly 0% of the ways that I thought it would. Okay. So they're on the point here.
Time to raise my APM.
This is my will.
Okay, so they charge forward here. Trying to get Haxal. He's behind. He's still got his Wraith, so he's just fine. Reaper's shivery boy. Man, that shivering is so weird. Charging. Is he going to countercharge it? He is. Good. Both Reinhardts are down. Axel just freezing away. Both tanks getting frozen. Body's going to freeze, isn't he? Yep. Okay. Good initial fight. Pretty scrappy. Haxel tried to get the split. Where's Haxel? Haxel is right here. Let's go back. Okay. They're trying to get these initial right clicks. Freezing Moira gets the fade. Yeah, so they see the ice block come out. And they try and push on Haxel there. So what is... his fissure's pretty low here. Is Twilight getting his heals matrixed? Is that what's going on here? Trying to get a cheeky sleep. Heals on Haxel.
Get back in the fight. Oh, you look tired.
So the nade gets antied.
The objective
So I'm not sure. That feels like it could have been a little bit better from Twilight. At the initial shots, he missed like 3 shots on Hoxel, and then he knew that Hoxel had used the ice block, so he tried to heal him up, and then that kind of didn't allow him to keep Fissure at 100%, and then on top of that, when he tried to go for the nade, that got eaten by Space, which is a really good eat. So, yeah, a combination of not being as efficient or effective as you'd want with your heals, and then when it really mattered, having it eaten, means that's a bad day. And I guess that could be one of the reasons. You know, I don't think that's the sole reason. If you play on you know that Defense Matrix is going to be annoying you, but it also annoys Moira. It's like, it doesn't affect the left clicks, but it does affect your orbs, which are hugely powerful.
Take your medicine.
So, I'm going to say Twilight, out of all people, was probably mostly at fault for that not being a closer match here. Now they're just trying to do this kind of inner fight. They're trying to get... Oh, speeding forward, not going to get anything. Jayne on the high ground. Kind of getting frozen. Space is chasing him out. Okay, Moira's using the Coalescence. Okay, so Nano went on to Fissure, right? There's another counter charge there. Both Reapers just going crazy at each other. Okay, let's watch this again. This was kind of a chain together fight here, right? So this is Fissure dropping.
The objective is now active.
So they only really lost Fissure, right? And then they back off. So it's not really a fully lost fight. They're going to stay more or less fighting. Trying to get some ultimates, trying to get a cheeky pick or something like that. Because Fissure should be back pretty soon here. Okay, so this was a really quick reset from Titans. That's good. Okay, so now at this point, Shaz does have his Coalescence. He's going to be the first one there by a long shot. But Twilight, well, not by a long shot. Twilight does have 82% on his Nano Boost. Okay. So Space is chasing Janu. This initiation comes out. Shaz wants to use this ultimate as a tempo ultimate. Just to make sure that they can win this fight, and then hopefully chain that into more of their own ultimates. So it's a really smart play here from Shaz, knowing that he's the first one to ultimate, because Moira does charge ult incredibly fast. So there that comes out. Stitch with the flank tries to get it. It's always going to be hard to kill Shaz, although the anti does land. It feels like that's very possible. But Stitch goes... May was anti? No, May was not anti. Okay. Turns on the own Reaper, and he's going to have to Wraith out of there. Very low too. Fissure gets the Nano. Cloudy and Fissure get countercharged. Both Reapers are there to try and finish it off. Where are the Divas? So Janu is there. Where's Space? Space, where are you? Ah, Space is in here. Is he getting frozen? He is frozen. Okay. So that was... Yeah. Jaru freezing Haxel, but he's going to get into the ice block. Okay. Both lines are up, and then the Fire Strike hits Jaru, and they're going to go forward. What hits Shaz? Was it Sleep? Okay, Twilight hits the Sleep on Shaz.
You're powered up. Get in there.
Okay. Goose is trying to get rid of him. Trying to get Steam Act here.
Watching your back.
Okay. That'll be that. Very brawly fight there. Fights like that, kind of devolved fights, come down to a lot about individual plays and mechanics. So, not a ton of strategy there off of the initial call from Shaz to do the Coalescence, and then the flanky plays from Reaper. So, Reapers are definitely playing way flankier than I had expected. Like, it caught me off guard yesterday on Temple of Anubis as well, when Color Hex went for a solo flank kill onto Jonak, like way away from the fight. I was surprised by that, but Jonak looked like he was expecting it, as if that was kind of like standard fare. So they are definitely not kind of going for the original May Reaper plays that were very, very kind of linear and rushy sort of thing. You know, some people call it like the ice cream truck. You're just hitting them with a frozen truck, right? But no, it is very much kind of playing for these isolations, where they can kind of smush into them with a pincer attack, and then the Reapers around on these flanks. So definitely an evolution on the play of May Reaper compared to what we saw last year, but not a bad one, just a different one. I don't know, Reaper doesn't seem like the greatest duelist ever. You know, he has to get super close against people who even work at mid-range. It's going to be pretty hard for him to sneak up on them, and even if they did, you know, Reaper's spread is notoriously weird and things. But yeah, there's been a lot of examples in the Overwatch League of Reapers trying to duel backlines and losing, even to Zenyatta's. So, yeah, kind of inconsistent as of the term that I would use. Reaper as a duelist, but seems like Overwatch League teams disagree. Yeah, Sim buff sounds scary. Yeah, I'm surprised we aren't actually seeing Sim played more. I think Sim's pretty good. Plus, Ryan doesn't need as much brawl protection. Yeah. We also discussed yesterday, D.Va is super great to eat Mei ults and go over Mei walls. Yes. Yeah, D.Va's high ground, D.Va's ability to eat cooldowns and ultimates is huge, and then her mobility right now is insane. Hey, it's Kevin. Good to see you, Kevin. And Ronnie. How you doing, Ronnie? Off-topic question. How impactful do you think hero pools will be? Very, very, very impactful. I can't wait to actually see them in action. But, yeah. It's going to be very interesting. I'm super excited to see how teams adapt, how players adapt, and it's going to make these analysis videos really, really fun because we get a look at how teams change their playstyle based off of heroes being banned or opponents having, their favorite hero banned or something like that. So, yeah, there's going to be, there's zero chance of a stagnant meta ever. The worst kind of possible outcome that I've heard people talking about is kind of like a cyclical meta where if there's kind of one hero that gets banned because they're banning one tank, one support, and 2 DPS, right? So if there's kind of one hero that gets banned, right? Like if they ban Lucio, the next one that would take Lucio, let's just say it's going to be Mercy, right? There's a possible that if like Lucio has, say, an 80% pick rate, then when he gets banned, Mercy's going to have an 80% ban rate. So it could just go like 1 week after another. Instead of like going through a chain, it could just be Mercy, Lucio, Mercy, Lucio, Mercy, Lucio. In the same way that it could be like, Mei has a super, super high pick right now. It could be Mei McCree or Mei McCree, something like that. So there's the chance that you could just have these two heroes that are trading which one gets banned every week. But with the addition of the promise that they're going to do much more rapid development cycles and kind of updates to the balance, I think that's, if it does happen, Blizzard will probably change it. Toot sweet. Okay. So this fight, Space and Johnny both have bombs. So bombs are another thing that I'm not 100% sure how pros are going to use them. They don't really seem to be doing them with combos or anything. So probably room for improvement there, I guess. Both barriers are online. Neither flex supports are online. Hammer is available for Fisher. Haxel and Stitch both have their ultimates. Birdring has it. Jaru doesn't. So a lot of ultimates here. But Titans are going to play on the high ground. They have control. They don't really want to take this fight too early. And Gladiators are going to come out split to make sure they don't get walled. Good play. Take this high ground. Titans, no rush to engage. They are going to drop here. Now, hopefully, we see these wall games. Okay, show me the wall games. Okay. So Gladiators on this high ground still. So they've got who on the backside? Reaper and Lucio on the backside. So I do like the fact that Gladiator seems to be playing these 4-2 splits a lot, which is refreshing to see these kind of different arrangements here. We'll have to see how this works out for them. But Jaru, Shaz, LH Cloudy, and Space. So they are going playing a less. If you are going to be playing these kind of 4-2 splits, you're going for more of these pincers than you are really going for really good wall plays. Okay, but how this is going to work? So they're all going to move in together, the three of them, to make sure that Hoxel doesn't wall them off. Okay, and then there's... Did Birdring just immediately jump off the top? Okay, so Birdring immediately jumps off the top. This should mean that Janu, he's out of range with his defense matrix, right? Yeah, defense matrix is just barely out of range, but he's easily going to boost into that. And Janu should have the majority of his matrix remaining. So he's got a quarter of it left. But when this started, right? So when this started, I believe he had the majority of his matrix. Yeah, so he did do the matrix to try and eat the orb. Was that what it was? Come on. Hit. Oh no, the orb wasn't thrown out, right? No, orb's still there. Okay, so he activated it just a second before, but for all intents and purposes, that Matrix was there for the majority of it, and then Fisher gets the slam onto Birdring. Okay, so a little bit ballsy for them to actually try and do that early without burning any resources, or trying to get a little bit of the defense Matrix gone, or trying to make sure that they can't beat that. So Slime drops the beat, everybody gets it, and so the fight's breaking out still. Stitch still has his. How's Space doing on Matrix? Pretty low, so let's look at Stitch here. They got him. Do they even need to use it? Doesn't even look like it. So very optimistic engage from the Los Angeles Gladiators there. Like, didn't have any real resources drained, and then they didn't try and go for... Like, let's look at that from the perspective of Birdring. Did they just, right off the bat, do an engage with the Death Blossom, or did they try and drop down and put a shot or two? Like, because if you do, like, hit one shot on a target and then immediately Q, it's faster than taking a second shot. And it can be good to finish off low HP targets, just because his ultimate is not the greatest in the world. So there's a teleport back there. Voice line is pretty loud, though. That's exactly what he did. Okay. Let's go here. Okay, that explains it. It didn't work out for him, but it does make sense now. Okay, so let's look at this, because he's going to land a second shot and then try and immediately nuke him with the Q button. Here he drops. So 1. Then he goes 2. Boom. And it doesn't kill him fast enough. So that's what Stitch was, or that's what Birdring was attempting to accomplish, was one shot. He knew he hit the second shot, and then he had tried to immediately finish him off with the Q just to make sure that Stitch was gone. That would have been a great trade, but Stitch gets away, and Birdring's attack failed. So Fisher's like, nope. The beat gets him, but it's not going to matter. So that's a huge play. Yeah. So unlucky from Birdring, but it makes more sense. I thought he just like dropped off and pressed Q initially, but he did try and do the finishing blow onto Stitch.
Allow me to repair the damage.
You know, we'll start to see peak Overwatch when we see teams consistently playing 3-3 splits. Yeah, I really like split gameplay. I like 2-2-2. Like, I like not 2-2-2 roll queue, but I like it where there's 3 kind of independent groups operating as pairs. I really like that. That's kind of cool when that happens. It's so rare when it does, but it happened with the original Orisa meta in Stage 4 of last year a lot, so I really liked it. The double flank controls, tasty. I just remember you said you played EVE Online. How long and for what Corps Alliances? I was part of Triumvirate and did Spectre Fleet as well. Please, beeping, stop. Stupid beeping. Okay. Yeah, let's just keep watching on the replay viewer. To hell with it. What are these things? What? Are those Diva's mech? Oh, that's cool. I didn't realize it exploded like that. Gladiators. Mech destroyed. Cliff, destination set. Okay. Okay, let's look for the next fight. Because that is a hard regroup for Gladiators. What's a 3-3 split? Where it's where they just play 3 people here, 3 people there. So it's like the number of people in group and how many groups you have. Orisa Sigma was underrated at a pro level. Entirely possible. Okay, what ultimates are available here? They've got another Coalescence. They've got Bomb, Shatter, Blizzard. On the other side, the Titans have their Death Blossom. Okay, so what are they doing here?
This will heal you.
Both Reapers got slammed, one after another.
Time to raise my APM.
Okay, let's look at that again. These definitely feel like kind of week 1 problems. Okay. Stitch here. So what are they trying to do? They forced the Reaper off. Now who are they looking for? They see Big Goose. I don't know why he thought that would work. Like, Lucio very obviously has boob. And Cloudy goes for the slam and lands 2. Why?
Shield. Time to raise my
Okay, from Space's perspective,
taking off.
a little bit of Matrix was used. He gets frozen though. Didn't get the blizzard.
Forward shield. Time to raise my APM.
Johnny was frozen when that blizzard was launched, right?
Taking off.
This will heal you. Here they come.
Oh, hammered.
Double kill. An expedient solution.
Oh, like Vancouver just fucked that. Like, that was not good from Vancouver. In any sense of the word, that was not good. Okay, let's that one's that's one you ask for a mulligan on. That is oof. Oofarino. Yeah, like trying to ult a Lucio in the middle of them. Full Matrix still available. Hammer online. Yeah, rough stuff. Okay. They're coming back, though. They've got the bomb. That's the only thing Vancouver's got. Well, only team both teams have. Show me something with the bomb. I wonder if bomb's being, like, exclusively used for remake. Well, it can't because Hotbo is being aggressive with it and getting a lot of kills.
Touch from afar.
Okay, Maywall there from Jaru.
Get through this.
Trying to get the split. They kind of got it, but they walled him up.
Nerf this. Nerf
There's bomb into the backline. Okay.
Get into position.
Finally see some bomb plays. Let's see this from this perspective of Space first.
Get through this. Nerf this. Nerf this.
Okay, so Space bombs in because he sees that the Reaper is retreating out of Wraith. And he wants to split as well. He's putting that specifically there. Oh, good splitting bomb, even if it doesn't get any kills, so they're going to get some time. And then Janu... What does Janu do? Janu got that, gets the split, tries to break the wall. They break that really fast. So he comes out.
Nerf this. All systems checked out.
Where did he remake? What? What? Where did he remake?
Nerf this.
What?
Get into position.
You landed there? Okay. Okay. So yeah, the initial bomb comes in from Space because he sees the Reaper wraithing and then he goes back along with the wall. He wants to split the Titans so that they can't even push in. And like the bomb here, in order to split the team, is very much like a May wall. It's not, it's not a physical wall, but it's the threat of death by nuclear explosion, which is basically the same thing. And then to counter that, Janu bombs himself to try and prevent Gladiators from taking advantage of the bomb that was thrown by Space, but it doesn't work out. So I just thought it was funny that landed up there. Both bombs killed 0 players, giving me hope of being a Pro Diva player. Well, Space's bomb didn't kill anyone directly, but indirectly it did by preventing the May and the Ana from actually helping the rest of their team. I don't think you can actually get up there. Like Andrew said, on slope surfaces you can remake, but I just thought it was funny that he got knocked there, right? He got knocked there because of the explosion from Space's bomb. Right? Right there. See? See how John is in the knockback animation? So, Janu got thrown there from Space's bomb and just barely survived. Like, look at Janu's health.
All systems checked out.
Get into position.
That's all. So, I just thought it was funny that it was already really high and then just got thrown away by the explosion and survived at like 20 HP.
Boosters engaged. Defense matrix activated.
Da, da, da. Okay. Still not the last fight for either team, right? So 85% is usually what we would consider last fight. So even if the Titans retake, Gladiators will have one more match. So there's the initial teleport going onto the high ground. Doesn't look like they're going to go for this. Where is Jaru? Why don't I see Jaru? Why are you up here? Okay. What are you doing? Yeah. Did he die in the last fight? Did I not see that? Okay, must have.
Routing power to forward shield.
So they're fighting without their Mei here. Stitch is on the high ground. Cloudy gets walled. Space is gonna get the mech there. Right as the barrier comes out. That's unfortunate. Nice slam.
This is my will.
Okay. This is gonna be a scrappy fight. Let's take this way slower. Okay, so Jaru did die there to Hoxel. Okay, so Jaru's coming back. Reaper's on the flank here. Okay, so they're pushing in. They're gonna try and take the far ground. Reaper teleports to the high ground.
Get through this.
Okay. Now Diva should be going on to the high ground to try and contest that Reaper. I assume he's going to in just a second. Oh, we're looking at bells. Yeah, so Space sees Stitch. Goes after the Diva and the Reaper at the same time. Loses mech. The barrier comes out from Big Goose as well. It doesn't save the mech, but they're pushing in. They have the, yeah, so they have Fissure really low here. Twilight has Nano, and I assume he's going to use it pretty quick here, especially with Fissure low and being pressured by Cloudy. You know, he's got the nade on him as well. Slime still has the barrier. Blizzard is coming up for Hoxel, but not Jaru. And then Birdring has it. Okay, so Nano should come out. There's the Nano. Okay, so right as soon as he gets frozen, the Slam comes out. So Cloudy tries a tech here. I remembered it just from the just from watching it quickly here, but this Slam, he thinks that this is going to stun Fissure because he's close, but unfortunately it doesn't. I'm not sure if that's because of the new changes that they made to the actual stun mechanics, because they made a change in the patch notes, right? But usually there's kind of like two aspects to the hammer's hitbox, where there's the circle and then there's the actual kind of propagation wave there, right? But if you hit somebody with the circle and there is a certain kind of area to that horizontally, it'll stun. So he's trying to get more advantage here. He doesn't want to just slam Fissure. He wants to slam Fissure and the rest of them. But he misses, and this is probably like the margin of error on that is like just so tiny. It's really unfortunate that he doesn't actually hit Fissure with that, or anybody else, really. So the counter slam comes out. Birdring's going to dodge it just based off of the audio cue, which is honestly sick. And then Space is going to die here. Boom. Yep. Okay. Now the freeze comes out. Yeah, that confused me, because I saw Haxel ult, but then Janu got frozen, and I was like, and my brain was like, what? So I didn't see this, but Jaru's back in this backline here, and this Blizzard isn't going to catch anyone other than Mini Diva. Okay, so that makes way more sense. They're rotating this over towards the point. Vancouver did get the flip here, so this is going to be basically last fight. Jaru is still in the backline. I'm not sure what Cloudy's trying to do, honestly. And now that he's, what were you trying to do, Cloudy?
Are you ready?
Okay, so here's this. That's after the missed slam. Space gets hit. Birdring dodges. It's so weird seeing Birdring on Gladiators. Okay, so shield's low. Trying to jump back. Fissure and Janu both get frozen, but Jaru can't follow up on that. Stitch is right there. Damage orb comes out from Shaz. So he jumps into the freeze.
This is going to hurt.
Oof. Close.
I'm not as young as I
Birdring was right with him. It's interesting to me that they would keep fighting out of this corner instead of trying to move this fight to point. And Jaru got slime. Where is Jaru? Jaru's still in there? Okay. Die. Birdring's gonna ult. Trying to kill Fissure. Fissure should drop here. Yep. You know what? It worked out for him. I want to look at this entire fight again from Jaru's perspective. Inspiration. Gonna finish off Haxel. Nobody else can touch. 12 seconds left, though. They should be able to touch, right? Well, Wrecking Ball for sure, but Wrecking Ball is going to really, really hurt against May Reaper. .96.
Time to read my APM.
Stitches on Doom. He's out. Doom's down. There's that wall. You have to go back in the other side.
I'm gonna have to shoot you down.
That's going to be real tough to break into that.
Get through this.
Okay, I want to look at this fight again from Jaru's perspective. His maze different than the other maze we looked at yesterday. Okay, so where's Jaru here? Did that... What happened to this wall? So he comes back from spawn here. That wall is already up. So he tries to wall off Fissure and Twilight. Ah. He misses that wall as well. Okay. Then after this, he's trying to freeze Fissure. Jumps right into him. Gets the freeze. This is where Cloudy tries to slam. Doesn't finish off. Okay, and he swaps all the way inside here. Fissure is nanoed. Still trying to freeze Fissure. He should get this freeze, right? Yeah, so he gets this freeze along with him and Jaru. And what does he do after this? Because everyone's barriered. He's not really going to be able to get anything done. He has to reload anyway. He's on this side, just kind of poking. Just kind of poking, being a nuisance. You can't really go through that blizzard anyway. Retreats back forward. Tries to get another wall.
My ultimate is charging.
Ah!
Clearing the area.
Okay, so let's look at this from Slime's perspective now. Okay, so what's Slime trying to do? Oh, Slime almost gets hit by that. Just barely. What was Slime trying to do for basically this entire fight, though? What was his plan?
Don't move.
Trying to make sure they don't get flanked, then just a boopy boop. Yeah. Oh, he got the amp too, but he dropped. So he just got knocked further into the open than he wanted to because of that charge. Okay. So very brawly fight. Not a ton of strategy to it. I am interested why Gladiators fought in the open here for as long as they did. We got that slam. Didn't find anything. Counter slam. Yeah. So here, I'm not sure what the call was from Cloudy, but I would have suspected that they go back, especially with the May wall being down. That gives them an opening to actually try and push onto the point and grab that capture. But they stay and try and fight a Reaper around a corner. Cloudy steps into that. Like, it could have been tough there. They both get antied. They charge in. So you can't really blame them because this is the middle of a chaotic fight here. But Shaz dropping there was unfortunate as well. Actually, that is another one that we can look at. Is Shaz. There's this. He's good on resources, trying to heal up Cloudy. He's doing a good job of healing up on Cloudy. Just drops. Yeah. So they stay outside and then split, and Stitch just gets basically the free pickup onto the Moira. Okay, let's look at the next one. Okay, what are you guys saying? Ryan retired, he's a content creator for New York now? Yes, that's correct. He was trying to pressure the Reaper. Can we always spectate Ryan? I love Ryan. Do you have insides in the OWL? Do you know why they don't let... Oh, yeah, that was the question about Pine. Yeah, Pine is content creator now. I feel like Rujahong is more like a mentor right now. Maybe he's working on other supports for when the hero pools begin. I don't know. Rujahong's still really good. Do you think Vancouver picked up Twilight and Rue? They're both amazing and a Zen, but why do you need two players with such a large overlap in hero pools? I don't know. It could be. Yeah, it could be like you guys were talking about, where like, Rujahong is being more of like a mentor or a veteran to the team. It's also just really worth it to have a superstar like that for your team for marketing reasons as well. So that could have played into it. It could have been a whole bunch of reasons. What's your favorite meta so far? I liked Double Sniper. I liked to dive. I liked Goats. Like Goats was fun to play. You know, to analyze it at start sucked. Later on, Goats actually got a lot more interesting when people started playing things like triple angle. Okay, next map. Shaz now on the Baptiste. So far, a lot of variety coming out from Gladiators on the Flex support, and Space is going to be on the Orisa. Are you going to stay like that? Maybe. And Titans now playing with the Moira instead of the Ana. Let's see if those swaps actually stay.
5, 4,
I think they will. Neither team seems to be memeing in spawn or anything like that. Okay, so there's the teleport. Okay, so Gladiator is going to be the... We saw Boston play the double shield, but now let's see how Gladiators plays it and how they're different. Okay. So they are playing the Baptiste double shield. That's the same thing that Boston was doing. It didn't really work out for them. Twilight is going to be on the Moira here instead of the Ana. Fewer sightlines for the Ana to exist. Really close in territory, so Twilight drops the orb. Well, let's back this up a second. I don't think there's going to be any fancy rollouts or anything like that, but that doesn't mean we shouldn't check.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Okay, initial teleports are coming out. Boop. Same ones. They're coming back. Both Reapers. Okay. Nothing fancy. They're going for that center territory, and both land really quickly. Okay, difference being Janu's on the Diva, as we talked. Space is on the Orisa. Space, Orisa, Pog at Champ. And then the Moira and the Baptiste. Okay, so the big difference here is that Baptiste is going to be wanting to get plays off of his immortality field. And then... Gladiators will probably be wanting to play a little bit slower here to actually burn resources because they have more with the double shield. But Janu is going to be able to punish, especially if that BAP gets alone for basically any reason. Space can punish him pretty hard. So I suspect Titans will be a little bit more on the defensive and then try and punish if Gladiators tries to push them too hard. But that's just my hypothesis. Let's see how it plays. Both Reapers are still coming in, kind of spinning around here. So who are they going for? Space. Again, trying to open it up on the side. Gets booped away as well. Back towards the rest of the team. So there's the immortality down. A bit early, I would think. That's only going to last 5 seconds, and it's only 125 HP now. Yeah, so that immortality, that advantage is gone for the Gladiators here. The freeze comes out on the Mei. Hoxel is going to get pinned, absolutely. That was a good pin from Cloudy. That sounds like a pin from Fissure. It is. That's not going to hit anything. That's unfortunate. Kind of needed that to hit something if you were going to win this fight, but it doesn't work out.
I'm gonna have to shoot you down.
Yeah, so Fissure should survive this, if only barely. Maybe not with that Mei wall there. No, yep, there's a crack. He's going to be able to survive. I don't think they're going to be able to push this in. Stitch is coming around on the flank side. I should turn those off so y'all can actually see what's going on. And Fissure does drop. So Big Goose with the damage over the top, and Cloudy just going through is not going to be enough for Twilight to heal him up.
The objective is
Okay, I want to look a little bit more about this initiation. I don't think there was any cooldown-based initiation. I think they just went for it. So let's look at Cloudy's perspective for this.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
So they teleport out. Go up here. Let's go for the third-person perspective. Or sorry, first-person perspective. Okay. So just both Reinhardts exchange fire strikes. The orb is out. I don't think they really wait for anything. So Shaz already drops the regen. Right? Yeah, Shaz already dropped regen, like, right off the bat. That doesn't seem optimal.
Let's see you get past this.
They're just trying to push in.
Boosters engaged.
Yeah, there was Where's the blue Maywall gets nothing, white Maywall gets nothing. Okay. So yeah, they just want to brawl here. They've got more shields, more healing, well, more utility. But so Shaz doesn't really get the highest value possible out of his abilities, but that is gonna set up for the pin onto Hoxel. What was Hoxel trying to accomplish for this fight? Let's watch that.
1.
Teleporter online.
Put out. Okay, what were you trying to do, Hoxel? Coming out, just doing some right clicks, right clickerinos.
Let's see you get past this. We'll stop them. Yikes!
Yeah, okay.
I'm gonna have to shoot you down.
Orissa's damage did get nerfed, but she's still okay. Her pull is so powerful, but you know the rest of her, like the weakened shield, is certainly a big point against. She's not just a halt bot anymore. Yeah. Do the players see these exact skin and colors when they play? Seems hard to tell Moira orbs apart from the starters. No, the players see default skins. You only ever play with default skins when you're pro. Yeah, Orisa pull is pretty nuts. Also, Supercharger. Supercharger is way better than Gravitic Flux. Way better. Okay. Fissure will almost get Shatter off that, but Cloudy will get Shatter. Shaz has Window. Now, going to be interested to see how Shaz plays with the Window here. Because, like, Wall itself from Mei is a huge counter to... So Shaz already setting up to try and put the Window through this door? Interesting. Are they going to be trying to Fire Strike that with Cloudy or something? Could very well be. Yeah, could Fire Strike that, because if they put a Fire Strike through that door and Janu doesn't eat it, it's going to be an insta-kill onto Twilight or Slime. So that's a big one. Could be going for that. You know, Reaper always shooting through it, but a little bit of an interesting choice. In general, though, I am interested to see how teams are going to be playing with this Window against Maywalls. Huge slam. Just monstrous. Like, what? Oh my god. Fissure just doesn't see this coming. Show me this again. Show me this. Do it, do it, do it, do it, do it. Cloudy does the jump tech, right? Just a little tiny tech to show you guys. A little tiny one. But you'll see Cloudy jump to turn this corner. So watch the jump here. Jump! So, do you know why he jumps here, chat? Pop quiz, do you know why he jumps here? Dun, 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 dun. So the answer, I'm just going to tell you, is if you shatter, so if you try and turn this corner and shatter on the ground, when you go through the entire shatter animation, you're pinned in place. But what this does is he starts the shatter, right? Which would normally have pinned him in location, but he spends the rest of the time drifting into the right position so that he's visible to Fissure for less time, and then the animation finishes right as he lands. So you do that when you're trying to shatter around corners, is you do the little jump, because otherwise you have to walk and then shatter, and it's longer, and it gives your opponent more warning. So just nice little tiny text. That is a beautiful shatter from Cloudy. Exclamation mark clip, I think clips. Good little tiny techs. Okay, next fight. Because that fight sure ended quickly. Okay. Where's Vancouver going to go this time? They're going to go low ground. Okay. Jaru's looking in the wrong place. Okay, so how is this wall being... Like, wall is still available for Hacksaw, right? So the Coalescence comes out to push with a pretty big advantage. Is that going to get walled off? Yes, the wall is... So, and the great thing about doing this is that when you put the Mei wall over the window, you can't get the bonus, like the bonus damage to take it down. Like, it's not like you're walling off the window, you're walling the window itself. Because if you just wall in front of it, your Mei wall is going to get destroyed. So you have to wall like the window itself or behind it from the Mei's perspective. So that's getting just about as much value as we expected. They're going to rotate around it, try and push in with the Coalescence. Slam doesn't find anything. Stitch dropping in on the back line. Okay, let's watch that again from Stitch's perspective.
That was a tactical error.
That was a tactical error. Imagine making a tactical error. 1, 2, 3. He's like, no, my health pack. Done. Done, son. He didn't have the health pack, so he just used his Q. Like, there's nothing, absolutely nothing wrong with using your Q to win a 1v1. Doesn't matter if you kill 1 or 4 as long as you win the fight. Slam only finds the Diva. Blizzard comes out. Very brawly fights. Okay. Next fight. Gladiators so far looking really strong. Titans, like, no team is going to look clean week 1 or anything like that. A lot of this is going to be cleaned up. This happened last year, too, where teams in the first week just didn't look good. So there's that Fire Strike. We're coming out here. So last fight here, Bomb is available for Janu. We'll have to see how he uses it. It's going to be super hard to land anything through double shields. They do have the Blizzard, though. So Blizzard's going to be the big one. Hoxel's right here. Let's see how Blizzard's going to be used here. It really is a free Blizzard, though, because Space is on Orisa and not Diva. So they can just play this slow, really. They're already past the point where they would get a second fight. So the priority here is going to be victory, not time or anything like that, as long as they're on the point when 99% hits. So they could try and, you know, have a Space use Fortify first or something, like do some sort of engage to try and get a Fortify out, and then they can actually freeze the Orisa as well. But any sort of clustered target's going to be totally fine and can't really do anything to try and stop this Blizzard. The wall here, beautiful. So I think Gladiators knew that was coming, and they decided to rush instead of just play slow and take it. So let's take a look at this from Big Goose's perspective. The real key here is going to be when Big Goose actually used his speed boost. Okay. Let's take a look at this. So here's this amp speed. So they're going to charge in.
Let them up.
And the wall comes out.
Clearing the area.
Big Goose goes back.
Maybe next time.
Push on.
My ultimate is charging.
Nerf this.
Okay, let's see that again from a different perspective. Because, or I guess what was... Let's see what was Cloudy's Q to charge here. Okay, there's that Fire Strike. Oh, the pull! Oh, that's what the engage trigger was. I'm glad I found that. There we go. Pull charges. Interesting choice. Okay, so with Cloudy, he's gonna say pulling left side probably. Yeah, Cloudy sees it and goes for the charge on that. Okay, so after the pull charge fails, the window is up there. Like, I don't really see the... I guess if you're going to fight Like the wall has already gone up, so Widow goes up second. That's good. Fighting on the second, or the other side.
Time to raise
Birdring goes for the...
nerf this.
Okay, so let's keep watching the rest of that from Cloudy's perspective.
Let them up.
Cleans up.
Nerf
Okay.
this. I'm back in the fight.
I really like Gladiators play there. I really liked it. You know, like Blizzard is free there because nothing can really stop it. But they played. They took initiative. They tried to make a play off of the pull charge, but then they went in fast enough that after they dropped the Blizzard, like they weren't waiting to just get frozen. They went in. They went in really hard. They tried an initial play, and after that, they still kept up the aggression. They had the window. It wasn't like the greatest positioning window in the world, but it worked. Big Goose was playing defensively, and then Birdring just came in with the Death Blossom to help that cleanup. So, well, how did Birdring play this? Did he teleport? He probably teleported high left. Or just low left. That works as well.
Nerf this.
The Lucios are doing really good work here defensively. Big Goose was offensive on the very first map here, but just in general, both Lucios are playing very, very well. Okay, and Gladiators take the first map. Wow. Good to them. Why no Zarya instead of Orisa? They play brawlers. Wouldn't the bubbles be super strong? So, I haven't seen scrims yet, and it's been really, really early in, and like basically nobody's playing Zarya, right? But the double, like Zarya is going to be a lot happier with brawling or anything like that, but actually in terms of resources, it's not going to be that strong for more or less sustained fights, right? With bubbles, you kind of want these engagements that happen kind of in bursts sort of thing, but the fight so far, especially with Mei, is going to be these longer engagements. Like Zarya does more damage, but D.Va's going to be able to actually do those high grounds, get those eats, like threaten the eat on the Blizzard, eat a lot of other things like Moira orbs, like anti-nades, and then like the idea with Orisa is that you just have so much sustain, you can just stay in one location basically indefinitely, especially when you have the heals of like Baptiste. You know, Baptiste gives you a little bit of extra damage along with Orisa as well. So the combinations of play that kind of make Zarya super strong don't exist. I don't think that she's necessarily bad or like trash or something right now, but the pros have certainly come to the decision that she's just not really worth playing for some reason, which is surprising to me. But you know, I'm sure it was played in scrims, and also we've seen a very, very small minority of teams play. Fuel played Zarya. So, yeah, I think other teams will play Zarya. I don't think that she's, like, completely out of the meta, but it will be interested to see the scenarios in which the other teams play Zarya. Yeah, it's like Zarya can melt a D.Va pretty fast, but D.Va also has a 3-second cooldown on boosters, so if she's in a location where Zarya can hit her, she can just, like, leave. You know, be on a high ground. You can't, unless you're high energy, and Zen isn't really being played, so D.Va is going to be even harder to break in terms of her mech. D.Va can just go somewhere, be there, and if she gets forced out, she can just like back off because she's going to be on the high ground and be able to zone out Zarya's damage super easily, or just leave, go after the next target, or go into a different location, or retreat, get healed back up, and do it again. Rhine Orisa makes D.Va worse because D.Va likes to play on these angles, but D.Va doesn't really work good through shields. You can do pretty high shield break and all that, but D.Va wants to play around these high grounds and play, you know, against DPS that likes to take flanks or off angles or high grounds or things like that. But when you're playing the double shield, you're not really doing that. In this case, the Reaper is, but the D.Va has to be more or less on the front line, and they're spending the Lucio to guard the back line. Swap Mei for Doom, and Zarya would get more value. Yeah, Zarya and Doom are pretty good together. Okay, and I'm still learning the meta too. I'm not 100% on everything. I'll get there, but We've only watched, this is the second game that we've watched in full, so
Ready for battle.
let's watch this one. If Zarya comes out, could come out here. Always been a very strong Zarya map. Birdring showing the Doom Fist.
Attackers incoming in 30 seconds.
Okay. Beer.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
I was gonna say, are they actually gonna use the teleporter? Where are they teleporting to? It's gotta be high. Like, so the thing with this is that there's, it's funny because I said this on Nepal, right? Is that there's no real point using the teleporter on things like hybrid maps. But I assume that they're gonna be teleporting to the high ground, yeah, not to the choke here. So they're gonna be doing this basically to get to this high ground and then dropping out this window to try and take the flank. Most likely because they're just worried about this front choke here. This choke right here is about the size of a Mei wall, so it's pretty easy to get split here. Over here, it's going to be harder, but not impossible to get split, and it's just going to be harder for them to follow up on if they do successfully, being the Titans, get a split with the wall. Okay, but either way, Birdring should be switching after this teleport to Widow McCree. Okay, McCree's good. Especially against Reaper. Okay. So they take this high ground. Oh, they're just like jumping off. So, yeah, they have the two ways, I guess. They have the way through this window, and then they can just jump off this balcony. So, with the two paths there, it's impossible to really get split. Birdring's going to be main, but if he gets walled off, it's really kind of inconsequential because they have the 5 people forward, including the 2 supports. Nice initial wall here from Jaro, splitting off Fisher and Janu. I don't think they're going to find anything, though. Janu, again, with the boosters, gets off. Ooh, Janu getting frozen there. Okay. Let's take a look at this from Janu's perspective. What did Janu try and accomplish here? Okay, so they get walled off by Jaru. And then Janu's like, peace. Gets pooped in. Okay. So let's take a look at Big Goose there. So not 100% sure of what Johnny was trying to accomplish. Like the boop from Big Goose, Johnny probably would have survived that without the boop from Janu sending him really, really deep there, but maybe he also thought that, because it's still pretty early in the fight, it would be silly to assume that he thought that it was a Reaper and the Reaper was doing something else than Birdring. But yeah, trying to go against Shaz and Birdring in the backline as a solo diva, an interesting choice. Finish off Janu. Good play there, especially with May being able to finish off Fisher. Okay, no ultimates up yet. Big Goose actually pretty close. Same with Hoxel. Okay, so now how this retake is going to work, because Fisher is back, right? Who got slept? Oh my god, Big Goose got slept. How did... Oh, Twilight's right there. Okay, I thought Twilight hit it from the alley. I was like, what a shot. But no, okay, so Twilight's in Hotel. I don't think they're going to be able to finish that off. You know, Haxel might go for the right click at the same time, but I doubt Twilight's... Could Twilight actually try to use a nade on him? I don't think so. No. Okay. So they're backing off here. They're not really holding very forward just because of the threat of Hoxel's wall. So you can't really hold traditionally, right? You would hold here with the Reinhardt, right? But anytime you're trying to hold close to these corners, that's going to make Hoxel way more powerful. So they're going to be holding much more in the open. That just allows the Titans to actually take more space and get back on the point into this open territory. So they are still looking for that split. Big Goose is going to get shot once. Is he going to get the headshot? No. Trying to run away. Oh, Big Goose dodges that. Nice. Downside of projectiles, I guess. So both walls have been used here. Now they can push back in. Push him off there. Actually try and blizzard that. Oh, they get Boop Shaz back into it.
It's
Nice from Birdring. You know, with the, with Reaper and Mei's survivability on their own, these fights do last a lot longer than in previous brawls. Like, you know, Goat's fights lasted forever, but I think this has got to be kind of the meta that has the second longest duration of team fights, just because there is so much sustain and individuality from the DPS, especially since both the DPS have the ability, not including the McCree here, but have the ability to, in some situations, basically carry fights and get multiple kills. So they're very long fights, especially since the DPS are so important here. Okay, so a split again. Like this, John who's on the far window. Everybody else is fine. The Reaper's already teleported. I want to look at this a little bit differently. How did they do this? Okay, so they're all here. Big Goose is just checking the windows. Space is back in spawn, swapping to Monkey. Okay, didn't expect that one. That will be interesting to see why. So, Stitch teleports. So they've got this kind of 3-angle setup here. And Fissure already dropped onto the point. The Nano Boost comes onto Stitch, who does have the Death Blossom available to him if necessary. I don't think that's really going to find anything. They also have speed still. So, not super impressed with Vancouver's usage there. Yeah, Stitch just went back and then teleported back in. So they used theirs on Reinhardt. The splits do come in. Reinhardt's trying to do his best. He gets frozen. This feels way less organized than it should be. And like this Vancouver engage, kind of like, why? What are you trying to accomplish here? That was, still wasn't back far enough. Okay. So Big Goose is scouting. Space is on Winston, right? Space swaps Winston. Oh, he's just switching back. Ugh, I'm so dumb. I didn't even see that he was in mini demon form. Okay, so they drop to contest. Maywall happens. They speed around the side, and then Stitch drops the nano. They speed out of there because they're fine. Birdring backs off. Jayne tries to stop him. Okay, so at least we get to see a Maywall engage here. So let's take a look at Hoxall first. So as they're walking forward, Hoxall's going to get ready to wall them. Get a little bit of the wall, but the payload actually breaks it. And then how did Jaru counterwall that? Just fine here, trying to make sure nobody's chasing Birdring. That's good.
Time to raise my APM.
Payloads on the move.
So yeah, just behind the Reinhardt to try and make sure that their Reinhardt can finish him off there. Freeze the Diva, drop the Blizzard. That's good. Should finish off Janu there. So I like that play from Jaru.
You were asking for it.
The little teabag. Yeah, I like that play from the Mei a lot better. Just the walling off of the Reinhardt to make sure that he can't retreat so that your Nano Reinhardt can just beat the hell out of him. I like it. I like it. So next fight, Stitch still has the Death Blossom. Still going to be pretty hard to use. You're going to have to do some sort of teleport play or do a high ground thing. So probably teleporting, like, let's say, up here and then dropping down or something like that. But with the McCree, it is also going to be extremely challenging because not only do you now have to dodge the defense matrix, you also have to dodge the flash. They have the barrier to use with it, which would be good. And the Gladiators don't have any defensive support ultimate of their own, so they can just use this ultimate from Stitch in order to get a lot of resources out, like those things. You know, even if you flash, shatter, defense matrix, Stitch, if he's got sound barrier, there's no guarantee that you're still going to kill him, especially if the rest of the Titans are rushing in after him. So Birdring's got High Noon as well. This is a really nice place to use High Noon. Cloudy could be holding up here so that they try and use it because the Titans are going to have to go through this corridor pretty quickly. You know, that's going to probably force Hoxall's wall out right away. But is it worth it to kind of trade that High Noon for the wall, or at least the attempt to slow down the Titans? I don't think it's really going to make that big of a difference, but is he even going to get his High Noon? No, I don't think he's going to get it. It's too bad. I would have liked to see how they acted But the big one to see how they play here is Stitch, because I haven't been super impressed with their Reaper play, but I expect to teleport just onto the high ground once the fighting is right about to start. So sleep onto who? Ooh. Oh! Okay. I like. Hello, Shaz. How are you today? Nice. The sleep shatter. I didn't see this setup. Good stuff. God, this would have been not good if he got spotted. Boom. Finish him off.
Watching your back.
Okay, that was fun. I liked that. I think it only hit the Reinhardt though, right? Okay. So there's this off angle here. I like this play from Shaz, I do. Okay. Coming in here, there's the sleep. Slam lands. Ooh. Axel just barely walls it. Slime tries to barrier. Doesn't catch Fissure. There's that coming out as we expected from Stitch. The High Noon from Birdring is only going to get the D.Va mech, I do believe. Counter Blizzard. Not going to catch anything. Sleeps. Yeah, Space is going to get D-mech'd. Janu gets back into mech. Still, they're going to finish him off. Good stuff. So even though that Sleep Shatter only got Reinhardt, still very, very well worth it. I wonder if Broadcast caught that.
See the old ring coming out. Birdring was phenomenal when he was at his peaks, and if he can play like this for the Gladiators, I see no reason why this team cannot make it into the playoffs and further a little bit later down the line. Maybe a little bit too early to say in the opening week, but here we have it. Shaz, cheeky little sleep dart sets up the Earth Shatter, and they all come falling down. Birdring, though, has to be kept alive here with the Deadeye. He's going to be able to get the teammate, but that's going to fall.
Nice. Broadcast did catch it. Less of a reaction than I was hoping, but oh well. Not so much counters as pressure. Still good enough, though. Yeah. Range stun zoning. What is this? Why Kree over Reaper? Kree counters. Yeah, Kree is going to be a lot longer range, more poke on these kind of like linear areas. Flash is going to be really good. Really the question is more along the lines of like why Reaper over Kree. Like Reaper has been used more about flanky, and Reaper is going to be better in on close range engagements. Like within, you basically have to be within, I think is it 11 or 13 meters distance in which Reaper has more effectiveness than Hanzo and Kree. But it's like within 10 meters. Outside of that, in terms of DPS output, McCree is better. He's got better poke range, so if there's like Lucio's wall riding or even Divas floating around on the high ground, Kree's got way better poke. I think pros know how to play around Bob. They will just melt him or stun him forever. Yeah, or just avoid him, really. In my rank, I would immediately call for a Pharah when I see May Reaper. Yeah, but Pharah gets so easily counterpicked. It's going to be really difficult to do anything. You know, even then, like, how many direct rockets does it take to kill a May or a Reaper? Like, 3 directs, right? So, that's 3 directs without including healing and without including their own defensive abilities like Wraith or like Ice Block. So, even if you do have a Pharah, the rest of your team that's still on the ground is probably going to die. I'm glad you enjoy these, Sandra.
Back off. The payload has reached the checkpoint.
Mecha activated.
Can a Reaper wall ulting get hooked by Hog? Yes, he can. He can get hooked, he can get flashed, he can get stunned. All of the bad things can happen. He's trying to protect this high ground. Space just staying on the low ground. Space now taking the high ground. Body's getting nanoed, going in.
Are you ready?
Bam. Okay, so Slime is actually swapped over to the Brigitte for this one. Let's take a look at this again. Okay, so Slime is swapped to the Brigitte, and Stitch has got off the Reaper onto the McCree as well. Other than that, they're still playing the same thing. So why do the Brigitte? I think this is the first time I've seen Brigitte. Getting a little bit on the Okay.
Routing power to forward shield. 거기 꺼져.
What are they trying to do in here? Okay. I mean, it worked out for them. I'm not sure how much the Brigitte actually did, but let's keep watching the Brigitte for a bit to see how some pre-armoring people. Pre-armor doesn't last that long, though, right?
Time to raise my APM.
Pre-armor's decayed now.
Step right up.
Nukes Big Goose. Okay.
Nothing's gonna stop.
Routing power to forward barrier. This will stop them.
Oh my god. Oh my goodness. Good stuff.
Time to raise my APM.
Okay, so High Noon comes out. Big Goose is like, no! Blah. Okay, so they're pushing in.
Nerf this.
Oh, that's funny.
On.
How did Fisher die to this?
Nerf this.
Oh, he got countercharged, okay. Well, there's nothing Fisher could have done about that.
Game on. Defense matrix activated.
I want to see more of this Slime Brigitte.
Forward barrier.
Just getting pushed around the floor. Got it.
Fixing you up.
Pre-arming the tiny targets. Okay.
Shield taking damage. I'm feeling better.
Oof. Oof, melted. Just pre-armoring tiny targets. Is that all he's doing? Okay. So armor onto McCree, armor onto May.
My ultimate is almost ready. Patching you up.
Not sure how I feel about that.
That should be better. Run into me! Feeling better?
I'm not sure how I feel about this Brigitte play. I'm gonna keep watching for a bit, but playing Brig is just playing Baby Rhyme.
Perfect.
Yeah, but why
Not
would
to mention some
you?
bumps and bruises.
Yeah, it's like they're winning,
Patching you up.
but I'm not sure how much of that is actually thanks to Brig.
That's the so.
Like, to be fair, new Brig is very strange to me, but
Activating self-destruct sequence.
It was like that one was one off of the Shatter Bomb.
60 seconds remaining.
Are they playing this in just this last bit because they don't really have anywhere to speed to?
Let's see you get
They
past
can't really
this.
retreat. They can have Brig play around the corners.
Not a home number. I will shield you.
But even then, I feel like Beat is a way stronger ultimate than Rally.
That should be better.
30 seconds remaining.
Like, why the pre-armors onto things like McCree and stuff?
Nerf this. Freeze. Don't move. All systems checked out.
Taking heavy fire.
I am unstoppable.
10 seconds remaining.
Take cover.
Rally to me.
Okay, got value at the end here.
My shield stopped before that. You need to clean up your act. Let's see it.
But why the pre-armors? What do you think, chat? What do you think about that gameplay? Yeah, they can't sponge very effectively, but they don't really have anywhere to sponge to, even if they did have the speed. And like, how is Shaz playing this? So, or sorry, Twilight. How is Twilight playing this? Let's go back to here. Okay. So how is Shaz playing this?
Heal up. I will keep you here.
Pretty standard.
Barrier activated.
Back this up.
Watching
I
your
need
back.
healing.
Activating self-destruct sequence. Shoot up. Enemy spotted.
Healing enough.
Activated.
Like, those weren't pre-heals. Those were actual heals.
60 seconds remaining.
My ultimate's ready.
Let's see you get past
Make that
this.
Get behind.
Watching your back.
I will shield you. Shield's taking damage.
Taking off.
Take your medicine.
30 seconds remaining.
Backline.
Everyone, stick together. We can do this. Nerf this. Freeze. Don't move.
Warihum and with it. You're powered up. Get in there.
I am unstoppable.
10 seconds remaining.
Another victory. Just a little longer. 动作不许走。Take cover.
Watching your back.
Shaz got, or sorry, this is Twilight. Twilight got tons of value this fight.
You look
It's
tired.
that good old BM sleep.
Let's see you get past this.
This is a very interesting development, chat.
Score.
Because Lucio is one of the characters that I think I least understand in this current meta, so...
Switching
like, the off-tank role is still one trying to figure out 100%. Lucio, definitely still trying to figure out kind of what is... You know, his ultimate use is pretty obvious, but, like, what he actually does mid-fight, you know, defending against Reapers, trying to be more, like, frontline, or just, like, general existence and resource management. You know, there's a lot of different things that you could get by okay, but what's optimal, don't really know. And then the Maze all have a bunch of different playstyles, and the teams all have a bunch of different playstyles in terms of how they're playing around walls as well. So, and like Brigitte is probably one of the heroes that conceptually I understand the worst in ranked since her update. So I'm very, very interested with that switch and that playstyle. But yeah, so you know the the pre-armoring up to 75, it's interesting because that also comes off of the change that they're now allowing Brigitte only to pre-heal with 50 armor instead of 75 armor. So maybe this playstyle was like really popular or powerful, because I think Violet was also doing it quite frequently in the like when I watched Violet, who is a Brigitte one trick who made it to like top 10 on the ladder. So maybe there's something I'm just not understanding about Brigitte and her pre-heals and why they're effective. But yeah, I'm interested. I am interested. There's a lot of pre-pack play on teams. I don't get it, honestly. I don't either, Lucky. And I feel like if I asked the question, all of the answers that I would get, even from pros, are insufficient. Like, it feels like one of those things that people just kind of, like, do and accept as right, but aren't, and they defend it anyway. Because you can pretty much, especially in the world of Overwatch, when you're talking about balance, you can really justify anything. But seeing kind of what is actually optimal in terms of a game is completely different. But you can, you know, there's so many qualitative judgments, like, you know, Diva is better than Zarya, right? If you didn't actually have game footage to look at, that argument would never be resolved until somebody actually kind of played games and saw that, oh no, Diva does have a much higher win rate, right? And then if the people who are championing Team Zarya, like, unless they can say what's going wrong and what needs to change, then their argument falls through. So there's a whole bunch of, like, what seems to be inefficiencies or suboptimal plays happening, and I understand that it's the first week, but I feel like there's a lot of room for innovation so far. Yeah, pre-pack heals good against mid-fight poke, right? But if you get mid-fight poke, then you pack them when they get damaged, then you actually get the ult charge for it. So, and then you are also not racing against time, right? Because if you use the packs, they regenerate slower than you can put them out. So, yeah, it's interesting. He said that Lucio Brig is a legit combo right now in higher relos? That seems unlikely. Lucio Brig is a very, very tiny amount of heals. Okay.
Ready for battle.
Both teams on McCree now, or at least showing so. That's more along the lines of what I would expect on a map like King's Row, much more linear.
Incoming in 30 seconds.
We're not going to see the teleport play from Titans, doesn't look like. Good to see you, Alan. Thank you, Andrew. Appreciate that. Claire is in Mont Saint-Michel, France right now. Okay, so they're both playing, yep. The Brigitte Zen? What? What? No way. The Brigitte Zen? Why?
Hello.
I mean, Zen is not going to be the space gets on the flank here. Brigitte Zen. Yeah, normally you'd have your Zen and your McCree stay together, but they were very split here. Let's take a look at this from Space's perspective.
Hello.
Time to raise my APM.
We see Zen. So Space is going to be like, targets. This Maywall's going to come out.
Get through this.
Got him.
Time to raise my
Look, a target. He's going to knock him right into the... Oh, he got the Mega from him! Space, that was dirty! Space, you're dirty! God, he's so low. No, he didn't finish him off. Okay. Space kicked ass that one. Okay, let's watch that again. So Twilight dies. We saw what happened to him. But what happened to Slime? How is Slime playing this?
We'll stop them.
Taking the objective. Join me in glory.
Stop.
Get us new.
Okay, we might have to put a lot more work into understanding the Brigida here.
I am on fire. Come here and get burned.
I assume so, Miralo?
Come on, try
Should
me.
be fine.
Objective
Can't find the stats, but Brigga's been outputting a shit ton of heals.
Escort
Interesting. In fight, overhealing is whatever, but teams are specifically using Brigga heal packs to overheal and stack up on armor before fights even start. I noticed it during the previous Doomfist meta.
That's the chamber is on its way.
Can't say I understand.
Come out and face me.
Feeling better? My ultimate is ready. Come on.
Bombs. Still gonna go. Yeah, you're frozen. Ooh, nice trance. Oh, bird ring gets him.
Shoot you down. Nerf this. Suiting up.
Yeah, like Twilight's perspective isn't really going to be anything different. He's just going to keeping those long angles, trying to put DPS out as much as possible. So like his perspective is not going to be that exciting. Where's McCree though? Because I would be expecting McCree and Twilight to play together, more or less. Nice shots.
That should be better.
Do. Well, here we get to see how they were going to play the high noon stuff. Come on, Vancouver.
Get us
Yeah, Cloud's shield's about to be gone. Jar is... Oh! Boom. Done, son.
Nerf this.
Okay. Well, let's take a look at this a little bit closer. So what are they trying to do? Because they got Doomfist now as well. Okay, so... Current positions, we have taken what we known to be true in the world of Overwatch. We have bundled it up into a ball, and we've thrown it into the trash. Okay, so Gladiators are running the Doomfist and the Reaper now. I don't think it was because they needed to get back quick. I don't think so. That's quite the angle.
This fight is not over yet.
Yeah, no, they had lots of time. So it wasn't trying to just get back fast or anything like that. They're far enough up. So the McCree Doomfist, especially on this point, this doesn't seem like a great point for Doomfist to be on, especially in the low ground. Yeah, like he's fighting low ground to high ground. He could try and get a round up onto this high ground here, or at least uppercut onto it, but that seems poor against the McCree, who can definitely try and poke him out. Like, there's no real good engagement angles for him on this area. But yeah, Birdring is going off the McCree. He's onto the Reaper. So they're playing Doom Reaper, so could just be going anti-tank here. You know, they do have the Shatter. Maybe they're trying to do an uppercut Shatter play or something like that, because you can't defense matrix that, right? If the Doomfist punches in and then uppercuts Fissure, he goes into the air and they can shatter the people behind him, so that's a possibility that they're going for that play, because the Mei can't really set up a Shatter play, and maybe that's what they're banking on to try and win here. Big Goose still has the barrier. Stitch has got the high noon. They tried to get him out of the high ground, but it didn't work. So, yeah, with the... They're just going to be poking out his shield, right? They don't really have to do anything here, so... Space is going to go on the high ground to try and deal with Janu. Fissure's playing way back in a way that, like, really the DPS can't deal with. So there's the punch. He's looking for it. Like, Cloudy got his shield broken and then tried to slam, so they're not going to do the uppercut slam combo anyway. Try to go for the punch, get countered. Stitch has got the high noon active. Jaro's going to drop because of that. Ball comes out. Space is going to try and deal with Twilight on the high ground. He should be able to get the kill. Big Goose sees him. Big Goose is going to get him. Yeah, there we go. Okay, so they're finished off. Cloudy and Fissure are both going to drop back to back, so it's still 4-on-4. That's going to kill Janu. Boom. Wait. Yeah, okay. Sorry, wrong one. Janu and Hoxel die. They're still here. He's got the flash. Gets Birdring, but that's going to get defense matrixed. Slime. Finish him off. So Space is such a damn good diva. Unreal. Yeah, Space is a good player, I think is the way to put that one. So are they going to stay? Like, they won that fight, but really, thanks to Space. Okay. So Elder Cloudy's back. I have a theory. Doom high pressure on Zen, so Brig has to protect him, but if she does it, so he doesn't get a hold of healing the tank front line, but they get rolled. Unless the tanks just kite back, yeah. Oh, yeah, Steadfast is now a thing. Right. Forgot about Steadfast. You're out of there. Sorry, let's look at that again. Okay, so they're going to be going back in. They've still got the Doom Fist. On the high ground. So there's these guys. 3-man flank. 3-man split. Nice. So they're trying to go onto the back line. Find Slime. Trying to find more. That's really good because they're going to, like, that's a really cool play from the Gladiators to send the 3 of them there, because all 3 of them, like, the Reaper can just wraith out, Space can just boost her out, and then Big Goose is just Big Goose, right? So they're out of there. Johnny tries to give Trace, but he's already back. Cloudy charged him out of there. Coalescence is coming out. Cutter doesn't find anything. So I really like this play.
Allow me to repair the damage.
I'm glad I rewinded because I didn't initially see that off of the Doomfist engagement here. Okay. They've got the Moira, Doomfist, and Reinhardt together, and then the other 3 are going around the left side. So what's this main group engagement? So they're going forward here. Trying to go for the punch. Yeah, so the Titans' response to that was to use the Transcendence to try and push forward past that little assassination crew, just take one half of the pincer, but doesn't work out. Managed to escape mostly the blizzard, and then Cloudy as well landing that pin onto May. If that hadn't happened, probably would have been a different story, but it did, so unlucky for the Titans. So this time they've got Rally, which will probably just be used as an engage, especially like a Tempo Volt, now that the Coalescence has been used up. Jano and Spaith both have the bombs, but those haven't been really used with any specific rhyme or reason. Birdring's got the... both teams are on the Doomfists. I really want to know the logic behind using each one of these different DPS. Okay, so Jaru's on the high ground, and then Hoxel's just on the low ground here, so they've both gotten rid of the maze. Which is interesting, consider how close quarters this is. So they're going to be using the bomb and the rally as an initiator. They're onto Cloudy with the stun. They get a secondary stun of some variety. Was it a whip shot or something? But something knocked Cloudy back for the second time. It doesn't really matter what it is. They've got 2 stuns with the Brigida and the Doomfist, so they're going to be able to stun them out, and they have no bubbles or anything to block that because they don't have a Zarya. They have a Diva. So this is very much kind of more of an anti-Diva composition compared to the Zarya. You know, Diva's going to be good against the Doomfist, but not in terms of blocking stuns onto Reinhardt's. Okay, so Birdring's in the background, going for the Death Blossom. Doesn't really find anything other than Stitch. Leader strikes out. This one's coming in from Jaru. He's looking for a target. Where's he going after? Like, there's the teleportation onto the high ground with Birdring. Right in the center, doesn't find anything. Going for a punch, gets knocked up by Haxel. Barrier coming out. Space still trying to deal with Haxel. Not finding anything. Big Goose dropping. Okay. So what was the turning point in this fight? Like, the initial initiation was really quite good. So here's this. This is the kind of first time that there is kind of like some sort of set play. So Cloudy has to countercharge that charge, which is good. Then he stands up. In the background, Stitch gets cleaned up because he has a free ultimate. like Birdring has a free ultimate because Janu bombed. That is a good counter to the response. So it's still 1v1, or sorry, 5v5 because one is down on each side. Haxel's trying to find more. Can't really find anything that. He's going to back off. Slime still has the rally going. Okay, Jar's going to pop into ultimate, trying to look for something. Face goes up in the background. Oh, Haxel did punch in. I missed that.
Time to raise my APM. Activating
So it was the punch, right? And so he gets one. He punches Cloudy to make sure he can't shield the bomb. Drops, looks for that slam, gets a little bit of damage, then decides to back off. He doesn't really have a choice. He has no cooldowns. And then after this, I think he punches into Shaz and gets the kill. And I think this was the turning point. So Jaru's out of here. He's turning, looking for a target. Kapow. Yeah. So yeah, that was the turning point right there, losing Shaz. So Haxel gets the frag. Gladiators tries to use the barrier to stay in it, but with the the Brigida and Moira still alive, yeah, that is not going to be something that you can defend against with just a Lucio. Okay, good plays from Haxel, good initiation, good counter from Birdring, from the Reaper. Okay, go back here, just fighting for this high ground. Whoops. This high ground is super important because whoever has it isn't really going to be so whoever has this high ground, especially with the D.Va, is going to be able to maintain it for their own DPS, especially since Haxel's playing the Doomfist. He wants to be able to use that as an initiator, right? And then if you are on that high ground as well, you're exposing your backline if the D.Va is there, or if you just try and walk underneath him, the D.Va can also just pelt your tank, in this case the Reinhardt, in the head. So let's back up a little bit and watch this a little bit slower. Let's watch this contest for the high ground. John is just on this high ground to start with. Space should go up to contest him. Haxel's up there. Okay, so that's going to be really hard for Haxel to, or sorry, for Space to dislodge. Big Goose is there as well to try and get boops. Haxel's back in. Janu comes up as well, punched off. Yeah, it's just this fight back and forth for this high ground. Jazz is trying his best to heal Space, but can't do it. Bomb is absolutely worth it there for the remake and to clear off this high ground, especially as they engage on the front line. But what happens on the front line here? Okay, so while this fight is happening, Cloudy doesn't really want to give up a lot of territory while this fight for this high ground is staying. And everything is getting countercharged, so that's another thing that they're finding the Brigida useful for. Like the stuns, like yeah. Brigida is definitely getting more value than I had predicted, or I was really aware of in terms of pro level. Like a lot of, there's the counters have been against the Doomfist punches, about the Rhine charges, everything like that. So they're pushing in here. 2 minutes on the clock. In terms of ultimates, we've got Janu's bomb. Fissure will have the slam. Slime also has the rally. That's going to be super, super tough for them to try and win against only a shatter here. Like the rally is just going to put so much pressure down. And then Janu has the bomb as well to kind of clear out or at least split and make them hide, right? So, yeah, there's this bomb coming out. Does the hammer land? Hammer lands 2 in the back. But now this rally comes out. Now this is going to be really challenging because if Slime does land the stun onto Cloudy, which he's not going to be able to do, he would have died. Looking for the charge. That gets countercharged. Big Goose is in there. Space finishes off Axel, but it's not going to matter. Titans take that map. Well, the meta is way more diverse than I thought. Yeah, if you're off the, if you jump off the payload, right, you can shield bash. We can watch that. Is it here? When did you say Brigitte was on the high ground? I didn't see Brigitte on the high ground.
I'm gonna have to shoot you down. Nerf this.
It should be possible through either,
I'll show them.
they don't have a Mei. So you can stand on this lip there.
Unsightly.
You tripping me?
I will made
End of
real.
second point. Oh, on point 2. I'm not going to go back to look then. Okay. Next one. Hanamura.
Ready for battle. Attackers incoming in 30 seconds.
Cheers, Otto.
4, 3, 2, 1. Attackers
Okay,
incoming.
so initial fire strike for Cloudy.
Defend objective
Backing off. Let's take a look at this. Okay, so what do we got here? Okay, so Titans are playing Reaper Genji. They're playing dive tanks, so Fisher and Janu on the Winston and the Diva respectively. Then they've got Rouge Hong in instead of Twilight playing the Ana, and Slime playing the Lucio. On the side of Gladiators for the defense, they're back to playing their double shield setup, so they've got the Reinhardt and the Orisa. And then they've got Lucio Baptiste, which is the same thing that they did on Nepal Sanctum, or Shrine, rather. And then they also have Jaru and Birdring on the Mei and the Reaper. So that's going to be a pretty, a composition that I'm going to assume is based off of holding this just main choke, holding it really close. And then it looks like Big Goose is more or less kind of trying to protect this window, right? So Big Goose is hanging out up here. If anybody tries to come in through this window, like a Diva, can try and boop them back or boop them in. Either way, but Diva being on a 3-second booster now, that's not really expected to get that much value, especially without somebody to really hard contest them. You know, the Mei and the Baptiste can try and poke at him, but there's probably better things for them to be doing. In this case, what is there really for them to dive? Like, they could dive Baptiste, but he does have the immortality field. Other than that, it's going to be super, super hard to dive the Mei or the Reaper, and the tanks are going to have a large amount of healing. Especially the Orisa, who can use that Fortify to make sure that healing's even more effective here. So, I will be interested. This could just be a scout and swap for the Vancouver Titans, but let's see how it works. Okay, so Slime is through the window, and Diva's on the high ground trying to scout in. Yes, it is. So everybody's still kind of just floating around, not decided if they've swapped yet, because Winston's still on that high ground as well. Reaper's going far right side. He could be going for a teleport play of some variety if they decide to stay on this. Genji was also looking, just trying to poke. Diva's in. Okay, so Diva's actually going in.
I am ready.
Okay, so they all decide to come in. Did they all come in through the window? That is not an easy jump for Winston to make if they did.
3, 2, 1. Attackers
Teleporter
incoming.
online.
Defend objective A.
How did Winston do this jump? I have never seen that jump before. Okay.
3, 2, 1.
Okay, then.
Attackers
Teleporter
incoming.
online.
Defend objective A.
Yeah, I have never seen that jump before.
Boosters engaged.
Yoink. Okay. So he jumps through this little tiny crack, which I did not know that was a traversable gap in this wall. That is interesting, 'cause Slime is going there as well. So the 4 of them decide to open this up. Now, how does this change things, really? So the Reaper is here still. Where are you going? It's going to matter a lot where you're going. So he just waits for this kind of to open up so that he can move in on the flank. All right, so now we're going to look at it from this perspective from the attacker. And the Ana's still going to play main. Okay. Is Ana still going to play? Yeah, Ana looks like she's still playing main, so she has this angle right to the far back side of point. But this really isn't going to open things up too much. They're still going to lose in close quarters here. They are getting their Reaper in position to be behind them when they dive, because there's always going to be kind of like this... Excuse me, the term is kind of like a catcher, where when you dive, you have somebody behind the team ready to catch the retreating individuals. So usually it's like a Tracer or a Sombra. You see this on Nimbani a lot with the dives onto the high ground, but that kind of looks like what Reaper is going to be doing. You can't get too far behind them without getting spouted, so they might just have Reaper kind of come out this door right as they're about to dive in this location, and this location here could be the kill box, but we'll have to see. So they're coming around this side here on the high ground. Could be using it to just drop down on a target, but let's see how this plays out. Okay, so they're going forward. Still looking for a target. They see Big Goose. They see Shaz. Birdring and Jaro sees him as well. Axel just doing backflips.
Routing power to forward shields.
Okay. Big Goose boops Fissure away. That's actually a really good boop. Make sure he can't drop on all of them. Has to bubble a little bit farther back. Jaro's going to have to ice block. Now they have an additional dive target because ice block is down. And the pull is going to make Fissure be in big trouble here. Is he going to survive it? He is. And now Anna's going to be able to heal him up. So they are going on to Shaz, but the immortality field is down. Sumin Su is going to drop and kill that. Shaz is going to have his regen field active still, as well as Big Goose to heal him up. But Sumin still kills him. Trades for Janu, though. So Fissure is super low. Janu is demeched. How is the healing going on Fissure? Never mind, Birdring chased and got the kill. So Rouge Hong is gotten onto the high ground and wasn't really able to be super effective this fight. So they traded both tanks for an immortality field and the Baptiste that used it. Slime's in trouble. Halt is being really well used here. Axel trying to reflect it, but Cloudy manages to land the shot through him anyway. And right as the reflect ends, Birdring is going to come out of Wraith. Axel goes to the high ground. Sumin Su is up there. Somebody's on the point. Was it Rouge Hong trying to... Just touches it to try and pressure them. Right? So Haxel and Sumin Su still not really touchable here. Yeah. Rouge Hong is on the point right now trying to pressure them out of that little cubby, or at least get a little bit of progress if nothing else happens. But they've really only lost their Baptiste. So they still have their Lucio, whereas the Titans still have Rouge Hong on the Ana. Dropping down. So a lot of HP that Lucio's definitely going to get his ult charge pretty fast. But yeah, they're going to have to play pretty safe here. There's a lot of damage. You can see. Trying to get the pull. So Janu actually didn't die in mini form. So he's still got mini Diva. Oh, sleep coming out. That's probably going to hit Cloudy. Yes. Space should have the pull here pretty soon. Oh, 6 seconds. Okay, never mind. So those targets might escape here. Big Goose is going to chase. Ooh, gets back in mech. That's an unfortunate happenstance. Good hits on Rouge Hong. He's going to have to back off here. Cloudy drops. I think Titans got this just off of that Baptiste dive. Didn't really need anything else. Shaz has returned, though. Wow. As soon as I said that, I jinxed it. So, Shaz's return. Yep. There we go. Coming in. Shaz, the hero, returns just in the nick of time.
My ultimate's almost ready.
Okay. Well, I thought they had it. Space also did finish off Rouge Hong. Somehow. I want to actually take a quick look at that. This is where he goes forward, and then Cloudy dies. He goes back, and then he turns around and gets jammed. Oh! Okay. I would have expected Jae-Hong to come back that same direction, but no, he went out and Space saw him and caught him that way. Good play from Space. Okay, let's keep going. So next one. Now that they've kind of showed their hand, how is this next fight going to play out? Genji's trying to get in, getting chased by Space. They're all trying to finish him off. They do get him. So Haxel tried to kind of force the issue there. Barrier does come... Wait. What? What happened here? Okay, so Genji's trying to escape, but they're not going to let this happen. Big Goose is on the case. Okay, so they find him. They're freezing him. They take him out here.
Time to raise my APM.
Now, what's going on here now? Okay, so they're chasing down the three of them. Space is in trouble here. Lucio drops a beat here. Oh, for some reason those health bars didn't show up when I was in the other spectate mode. Okay. That makes way more sense, though. It was a bug. I was kind of like, who the heck got the beat? Okay, so that makes way more sense. So they're dropping the beat. And they clean up slime. So yeah, Vancouver Titans on this fight just tried to forced the issue way too quickly and got punished for it because Gladiators were not going to let them have that free space for free. They weren't just going to let them take ground like that. Okay. Are they going to play any different, kind of knowing that they're playing dive and that they're going to be trying to take that area? It looks like BAP is trying to get onto the high ground there. Successfully. Arissa's playing on the high ground just to make sure that they don't have that window for free as well. They're playing way more spread out. The Reaper's way more on the back line.
Cease your resistance.
Okay, so what's happening here? So Space has dropped the supercharger onto the high ground. I like Cloudy. He just charges everywhere. He's like, screw walking. I'm going to charge. Jar and Birding on the point. They both have the supercharger as well. The pull is out, which is going to mess up Fissure and Janu. There's the pull. Doesn't catch Fissure. Does catch Hoxel. Fissure is up there to try and deal with the supercharger. And here comes the blade. The nano blade is out. Okay. Hoxel is this one. So this is a one-shot onto Shaz and Big Goose if he lands it. Bye-bye immortality. Cannot survive a slash from nano blade.
I've reached the objective. Let's coordinate our efforts.
That up, and maybe I will double kill.
Done, son.
Get healed.
Nice little play from Haxel. Let's watch that blade again. $180 for no good reason. Guess it was more along the lines of a 360, but still, just taking appraisal of the field before murdering everyone. Good stuff. Good stuff. Yeah, not much you can do there. They used the beat last one. Immortality Field is not going to be enough to keep you alive against Dragon Blade. It's just not one single slash from Dragon Blade. When Nanoed finishes off Immortality Field now. So, nothing you can really do there. They're staying with this for the attack, so they're going with the dive on the attack still. Fissure and Johnny have their ultimates, so both tank ultimates. That gives them a lot of sustain. Sumin Su's got the Death Blossom there. They could be using it onto the point. They could be using it really in any specific way. It's going to be really, really hard to get some sort of set play up against the Brigitte Moira, which is Gladiators are playing. Okay, so Big Goose is off the Lucio, onto the Brigitte here. Jaro and Birdring playing the May and the Reaper. So this high ground is going to be really challenging for the Titans. Maybe trying to do soft eyes and then fight on the point. It'll be interesting to see how the Titans actually try and take this point here. So Fissure is going to go for the bit of a soft dive. There's no way this is a hard dive. Moved off. Fissure's going to drop. Sumin Su does try to do the teleport onto the high ground into the Death Blossom. And at the same time, Cloudy flanks around. So let's take a look at Sumin Su here. So Sumin Su is going to go from main. Okay, so the teleport onto the high ground. Yeah, Fissure is more or less trying to cover for this teleport. Jumps up. I would say trying to get some more charge, but really he's already got primal. It doesn't really matter. Sumin Su's right there. He gets stunned out of it. Big Goose survives. The May is getting freezing as well. Shaz comes back in here. At the same time, Cloudy gets the shatter, and he's going to be getting the pin onto Janu. Shouldn't be a DMEC quite yet. No, it's not. But the freeze, that will finish him off there. Okay, so Fissure was on the point? Where did Fissure go? Oh no, Fissure's back up on the point.
Nerf this.
Sumin Su got knocked off. Fissure's using Primal. Janu is using Bomb to remech, or at least attempt to, but he's right next to a Reinhardt, and anybody in Plat knows that's not going to work out for you. Hoxel's trying to use that opportunity to kill Cloudy. I don't think that's going to work. Well, maybe. Same time, Birdring's going to drop on Sumin Su. Not be able to be in the actual kill range. Boom, gets finished off. That seemed like a poor choice for Birdring. Throws the Blizzard way into the back line. Jaro doesn't catch anything with that as the Vancouver Titans drop. They're onto the point. Sumin Su's going to have to Wraith away. Cloudy, I can hear him coming back with the charge at the long range. They are kind of back. Space, ooh, just doesn't quite get onto the high ground to contest with Fissure. That's going to allow him to drop into the back line and splitting them. Sumin does finish off, ooh, okay. Let's take a look at what you did, Sumin Su. So first down here, this is where he bests Birdring, who tried to drop on him with the ult, which has a little bit of a lower range than you would expect. And then he gets saved there by Rujehong. He's going to be looking to teleport onto the high ground, which he does. Jaru whiffs the Mei ult. This is when Fissure goes onto the high ground. Gets healed up. Fissure goes onto the high ground. Oh, he drops again. So Fissure's on the high ground, finally. Space goes up to chase and misses, and then Suminsu drops onto Big Goose. Nice shots. And then gets Jaru as well. Getting chased. Cloudy took 2 hammer hits. Yeah, Birdring finishes him off. Okay. So Suminsu does take 2 hammer hits and then puts him low enough to Birdring to finish him off. So it's not done yet, but it's probably not looking good. They're down their main source of DPS. Hoxel has Nano Blade though, so if this kind of fight does go too long, it's going to end pretty quickly. Nano, yeah, there it comes. Man, I didn't even see what he slashed there.
Oh, you look tired.
Oh.
Objective, rally to my position.
God, I want to see that again. Okay, so here this comes in. Slash once. Like, what? I was like, that animation was weird as heck. Okay, let's see this.
You're powered up. Get in
Okay.
there.
25% speed, let's go. So dash 1. Slash. Hits the McCree just with the edge of the blade. Second slash doesn't find anything. Target acquired. He gets hit once by the hammer. Gonna put a second slash onto the Reinhardt and the dash to finish him off. Good management of health. Dash. Slash. Gonna finish off the the Tracer and the Moira. And then hits this. Puts him low enough for Melee to be finishing him off. Yeah. Oop. Got him. His DPI is so high. Man. Nice blade. Always feels like he's kind of on the edge of losing control, but makes it work. Makes it work.
Score 0-2.
Hi Jayne, I lost 130 SR from Overwatch crashes while trying to climb. Comp is fun. That last part seems like a lie. Comp is not fun. Dirty liar. The fact that Genji is played in the Overwatch League gives me hope for the future of Overwatch. Yeah. I mean, Dragon Blade, like Nano Blade, is always going to be good. You know, it's always going to get kills or it's always going to get counter ultimates out unless you really, really mess things up. Okay, this time let's see if the Gladiators have the same level of creativity.
Ready for battle.
Okay, so Roadhog Sombra, please stay on this composition. I want to see what you have. What do you have for this comp? They've got the Sombra or the Symmetra, so they could teleport through this main choke and go for a high ground or something like that.
3, 2, 1. Attackers
Okay, what's going on here?
Defend
So the Sombra's scouting. So that's all they're doing first is this Sombra wants to go first and see what they have, and then they're going to counter swap. So the Sombra sees them already. Maybe. No, Fissure didn't quite catch that. Just looking around to see positioning and see characters, and then going to call for the swaps. So Sombra teleports back. What if they decided to go on to counter the McCree, or sorry, to counter the, I already said what I think, but what if they gone on to try and counter the main that Reaper that the Titans have? So they have the Ana and the Lucio as well. Yeah, let's see, I guess. So they're on the double shields. They've got the Lucio and the Baptiste. Are they staying with the Symmetra? Yes, stay with the Symmetra. No, they are going to be going on to the Diva Ana. Okay. But Symmetra is staying. So is Symmetra going to stay at the choke. This is going to be a teleport play of some variety. So they could teleport onto the point and then try and wall the Titans off. They could teleport from the main choke onto the top, like this building here. They could teleport from the left side in through the doorway so that they don't get walled off first as well. Or are they switching? No, cowards. Okay, they're going Hanzo. Okay, Hanzo then. Not exactly what I expected, but we'll roll with it.
I could use some help. I'm gonna have to shoot
See
down.
that which is unseen.
Need healing.
Okay, let's go back. That is too bad. Okay, what do we got here going?
Shoot you down.
So we're at the main choke. Shaz tries to get the nade. Space drops in to try and block off Fisher. Haxel tries to go for the wall. Suman Suze on the corner. Is he going to finish off Shaz with 2 shots? I don't know how that sleep missed, but that's an unlucky.
No.
Shaz gets finished off from Suman Su, just being right in that corner there. Are you going to countercharge it? Oh, Fisher doesn't get the countercharge. Takes him for a ride on his merry-go-round. Haxel's trying to freeze him. Jaro's trying to freeze Haxel. Just a really brawly fight there. They just immediately try and push through this choke like no other strat. Is that really what happened? Okay, so they're all together, and they just try and go through. So the Diva in through the far side. Trying to go for a little bit of a pincer play, but yeah, they really just did walk through. Hanzo's not quite there yet. He's not really involved in the fight for the first couple seconds. Not the biggest of deals ever. But yeah. And then Diva is kind of split. I'm not sure if that's intentional for her to try and be between the Reinhardt and Space. Let's see it. Let's take a look at that. Let's see if that was intentional, actually. So Space jumps through the window to try and pincer Fisher on the Reinhardt, but after that, does he specifically position himself between Rouge Hong and Fisher in order to try and block the heals with more than just his defense matrix? Let's find out. Okay. Look at the target, hears him, going through. It's possible, but can't quite tell. No, I think it's more along the lines of he gets booped into the bat position, then moves around the other side of the ice wall. I don't think he did it specifically to try and block Ana heals. Okay. Next fight. So far, Gladiators not looking as strong on 2CP compared to the Titans. Titans definitely had some cool set plays. And some good just plays in general with the Nanoblade. Trying to finish off Big Goose here. What's Ana POV? What do you mean? Okay. Next fight, 2 minutes and 30 seconds left. Ultimates, Rouge Hung has Nano, which is probably going to be used for Fisher. Gladiators have nothing. Are they just going to try the same thing? They are, except Birdring is now on the Reaper instead of the Hanzo. So Fisher, ooh, walls him off, loses LOS. Fisher trying to get LOS. Does get the nano boost out. That's what we expected. Reaper's still going real hard. Ooh, big anti. They're still good, though. Nano's keeping him up. Trying to keep the pressure high. Gets a swing. The Ana's separated. That's going to be pretty difficult for them to get away from. Space going to be able to save Shaz? Looks like it. Shaz just crouching. Like, please, please. Is he going to get him? 1, 2. Does actually end up finishing him off. Rough. Rough days. Okay. They're couple times that Cloudy's charges have gotten him in trouble.
Boosters engaged.
Suminsu with a beautiful flank onto
Time to
Birdring.
raise my APM.
Okay.
Defense matrix activated.
Okay. Same compositions? Yes. So now Nano's on the other side with Shaz. Both Diva Bombs are up. Cloudy has Hammer, Fisher does not. Haxel and Jaru are both pretty close to Blizzard. And Suminsu has the Death Blossom. Okay, so the Death Blossom is going to be pretty hard for Suminsu to use. Like, again, we keep talking about this, but the Death Blossom is really hard to use as an initiator. Sometimes you use it to finish off a duel, sometimes you use it to bleed resources, sometimes you use it as a finisher if those resources have been used, but kind of as a planned initiator, very, very difficult to use. Same with the Blizzard, so long as there's the Divas on the field, so probably they're going to do more or less the same thing that the Titans did to them last round and use the Nano on the Reinhardt to try and pressure and push Fisher's face in. But it is going to be a challenge of getting past this wall, so maybe this is going to be another example of us looking at the walls here. Because the walls so far haven't been really good at blocking things off. Is the Mei center? Yes, the Mei is center. They're going to be using that wall more defensively. Haxel still gets that. It's not going to block everything off. Oh, or is it? Yeah, it does. Okay.
Yeah.
So Birdring teleported to the high ground. Oh, yeah. Wait. Oh, that's not him. Where is Birdring? Birdring sees it. Is Space going to go in with Birdring on this teleport?
Get through this.
Yeah, so Birdring's teleporting onto the high ground behind, right as they try and push in. Space doesn't go with him initially. Big Goose does. And Suminsu finishes off Shaz basically as the 1v1. Space is nanoed, getting booped around. It comes out. That's going to be a big freeze. It's Jaru as well. Gets finished off. Okay. So this is going to be an important fight to look at from Suminsu's perspective. So how does he play this? And where's Big Goose first? Let's actually take a look at Big Goose first, because he went with Birdring. Where is Big Goose? Big Goose is here. Okay. So Big Goose is in the window, ready to go. Sees it. Speed boost up, trying to finish off Diana. Oh, it did get him. Okay. Let me sneeze again. Maybe not. Jokes. So they did get him, but at the same time, where is Suminsu? Oh, he already used it. Dang. Let's go back here. Suminsu. Okay, so he teleports up there.
Freeze! Don't move! Nerf this! That was cool!
Double.
Okay, 60 seconds left.
Repositioning.
So yeah, just using that ultimate as the initiator
Remaining.
doesn't work, so they just go for that duel 1v1 onto the Shaz. So Gladiators definitely having trouble on 2CP compared to the other maps. Are they going to try the same thing again? They've got Nano back. That's the Titans who have Nano back. Okay, so what are they doing on these walls? So they're going to go for this. Where is Jaru? Jaru's like right in the middle of them, but they get split. And Haxel gets a really nice split there. Nothing you can really do as Cloudy drops.
Bunny hop.
Trying to push Space in. Not really gonna oh, he is gonna get the demech. Very, very nice. Space gonna go back to spawn? He's gotta, right? Yeah, Space is gonna have to go back. So good boop. I didn't think it would be enough to demech him, but it did end up happening that way. Okay, so last fight, no Nano. They've almost got the sound barrier up from Big Goose. Big Goose, both DPS ultimates up from Gladiators. Rouge Hong has the Nano again, so that's going to be on Fisher. Going to be really hard to push through. Let's look at Haxel's wall here. So 13 seconds left. They could honestly just wall here and force somebody like Big Goose to touch and then isolate or something like that. Or space. So there's the wall coming in. There's the wall in return. Anyone gonna touch? Did somebody touch? Must have been Big Goose. Yeah, let's watch. So these walls. Why is my nose running? So there's that, and then Haxel goes for that one. Yeah, that's a pretty nice wall in response. And that blocks just Shaz off, but really, who else do you need to block off? Yo! Fissure shattering that crack? Shaz got the sleep on Assumin Su. It's not really gonna matter.
Nerf this.
On the split.
Time to raise my APM.
Yeah, so Gladiators getting outplayed on 2CP hard. Yeah, that was not even really a contest. Their plans were not nearly as good.
Seconds remaining.
I like that slam. Okay. Next map. Game 4, Dorado. Debated by the sneeze.
Ready for battle.
Okay.
Attackers incoming.
Ah, they put Mirror in, did they? And they put Twilight back in. And they put OG in. Okay. They're actually going to play the Widowmaker Pharah. That is not what I expected. I mean, I should stop saying not what I expected when this is the literally the first weekend of games.
4,
We haven't seen anything so far.
2, 1.
Okay, so Titans starting off with the double sniper. Double sniper is really interesting because this is going to be Dorado. This is actually where the double flank control was originally kind of played for the first time in Pro. I think it was Stage 3, Season 1, Boston Uprising. First played this. They played with the Roadhog instead of like the off-tank position, and then they played double flank control. But with this, Fissure is going to be playing more center line, and then Jonu is going to be helping out. But they've got the Anna and the Baptiste. So I'm going to assume that the Baptiste is the one that plays... well, goodness. So there's a couple different ways that this could happen. I mean, there's a ton of different ways that this could happen. But I assume that what Titans are trying to do... Like, anytime you have double sniper just in general, you want to control at least 2 different angles. But when you are playing something like an Orisa core and not a Winston or something, you usually want to control... 3 different angles or something of that variety. Like, you want to have the Orisa controlling the front angle, and then you want to control, like, the Hanzo on the left or the Widowmaker on the left or something like that. But usually when you're doing that, you either have an off-tank supporting one of the snipers and a support supporting the other. And you do kind of play this 3 different groups of 2 here. But I'm not really sure who you actually get to play with one of the snipers, or if you play kind of like a 4-man core or even like a 5-man core and have one sniper playing separate flanky like the Widowmaker or something like that. So there's a ton of different ways to play this for the Titans, but whichever way they actually select is going to tell us a lot about their actual playstyle and their chosen way of playing. For the Gladiators here, they're going to be playing a lot different. They're probably going to be playing more along the lines of counter dive. So OG can't really dive that deep. He can't dive out of sight lines because they're playing with Shaz. And Space is going to be working more probably on defense in terms of protecting Big Goose, protecting Shaz, protecting Mirror, Bird Ring and all that. So OG is going to be a lot more of kind of being responsive. And he can shut down snipers for sure. So he's either going to play like the counter dive solution or just kind of the defensive, like getting in the face of Assumin Su and things like that and making sure that you can't do anything. So just kind of like just being an asshole. Just making sure that the snipers can't play the game. So you could do that where you're just preventing the Widowmaker from playing the game, and you're playing more along the lines of like space control, that could be what OG's going to do. But enough of me talking. Let's see what they actually go for. Okay, so they see the Ana and the Diva off of the Sonic. Fissure's going over to the Wrecking Ball. Haxel's going to Genji. So they're playing Widowmaker Genji now. So this is going to be much more divey. And how is Sumin Su going to be playing this? Sumin Su swapping.
Everything can
The
be
Sombra
done.
Genji. Okay, so
And
this is
everyone.
way different than talking about Double Sniper, which I was really hoping to see, honestly. But this is a super simple one. Really, the only thing that you have to do is make sure that Johnny eats the sleep dart, and you can go after pretty much any single target you want, except for the Pharah. Of course, you can't go after the flying targets. But Sumin Su, super easy, allows you to scout, allows you to get hacks on targets. Yeah, and you go nuts on pretty much whatever target you scout and finish off here. So Sumin Su is going to be the scouter. Let's look at Sumin Su here. Ball's just going to be rolling around, causing some disruption, getting some initial oil charge, forcing OG out. John is just trying to get some poke as well. A hack onto the Pharah or the Mercy drops them down to the sky. Dropping on the Winston. He did manage to get the jump out. Can't really dive down on him. Getting some shots here. And Titans being forced to back off. Really good tracking from Sumin Su. Take the heck. They did get the res up onto the Pharah. It's not going to be enough to matter. Sumin Su's like, where did I put my translocator? Okay. Let's move this back. So, really, Gladiators comp wasn't the strongest pick in the first place, but let's look at this a little bit closer and slower, at least from this perspective. Okay, so what we got is the Pharah's on the high ground, but really, it's going to be pretty hard for them to actually get that much value. You can see that Fissure was in the backline on the Wrecking Ball trying the best to actually deal with Ana. He's going to get headshot here because of the sleep dart. So that'll put him really low and he'll have to retreat, but he probably won't die. There's going to be the anti-nade likely coming in. Oh, so he just uses his shield and then he's going to retreat. Winston's hacked, but they're retreating there still. Ana is coming in and shoot him. Okay, so it was the combination of the Ana and the Sombra damage that was able to finish off Mirror. Twilight gets hit really low by something. Must have been the Widowmaker shot. Put him down to like 1 HP, but he got the nade to heal back up. And then Hoxel chased him down. Okay, so let's watch that a little bit. So it's going to be Birdring, right? So Birdring is going to go help this poor lonesome Ana. So he's going to get the headshot. Shoots him right in the ear, the monster. I see you. Okay, so he's done. Not going to use the nade unless they already did. Whoa, that was a weird neck animation for Fissure. Then he jumps over. I think this is the damage that lands on Twilight. Yeah, you can see Twilight. So, dink. How much damage does Twilight take? Twilight goes down to 2 HP. So this is unfortunate. If Birdring had just been able to charge his shot for like that last millisecond, he would have gotten him. Twilight hides, and at the same time that Twilight hides, we have Hoxel, who's like, ooh, yummy Widowmaker, and goes after him. So he goes for the dash immediately, and then misses his right click, but he's not going to miss 2 in a row, and just puts a ton of them into his head and finishes him off. Now he's going to get Shaz, rather. Ah, that reflux hitbox is so small, and that's going to force Hoxel to back off and get out of there. Okay, so it's too bad that they didn't get the kill onto Twilight. Probably would have gone a bit different, at least.
I'm gonna have to shoot you down.
I'm gonna sneeze again. Actually sneezed that time, and Haxel retreating gets picked up as OG. Big Goose reses, but Big Goose himself is super low, and Janu's probably gonna finish him off here. Juked! No, you can't get juked like that. Okay, got him. Good. Okay, so Mirror's back alive, but he doesn't have the pocket anymore. Sumin Su's gonna TP out right as Janu just finishes off Mirror, who drops low, and that's the first point for the Titans. Boom. Got him. Okay. Gladiators should probably swap here. Yeah, so Big Goose is going to be going onto the Brigida, a character that I'm learning to see more and more about. So they're actually playing the McCree and the Tracer. So in response, the Titans are swapping onto the Reaper. They're just keeping with the Genji. No other changes happening so far. Okay. So this time we see the McCree and the Brigida are playing together. Tracer and Diva are playing together. And then Winston is playing on the high ground against the Diva and a Genji, who's probably going to get him forced out. OG's just hiding for now. Yeah, Titan's just pushing the card. Ana's playing super long range. Sees the sightline for both the Brigitte and the Diva. Okay, so they're taking this high ground now. McCree and Tracer still on the far ground, just trying to get some poke. Tracer hasn't engaged anything yet. Okay, so Winston's going to be soft diving on the high ground. Doesn't see anything, drop back down. And then OG dives right into the waiting arms of a Reaper. Doesn't get as much done as you would expect. Oxel's charged up his blade. OG's got nanoed. Ooh, that's a lot of damage. That is a lot of damage. Gets booped away by Big Goose. Is Big Goose going to survive that? He is. Okay, now here's the counter push coming in, and it's going to probably involve a Dragon Blade in like 3 seconds. Oh no! Oh no! That is not what you want to have happen.
Get through this.
I think he was calling for it too. Let's see that again.
Get clear.
Excuse me for
Unfortunate. Okay, well, they'll just do it again. They'll do it again the next one. And there's still no support ultimates.
Watching your back. This will help.
Okay. Waiting for Axel to come back a second time. How are the Gladiators going to be defending against this? They do have the Brigitte, but probably just better to play a long ways away. Yeah, they're backing way up. They're playing as a group of 3. So they have a chance for the Sleep Dart, the Stun, and the Flash. Axel's underneath them. OG's just trying to go for a little soft dive. There's the Flash. Ooh. The bomb does kill Haxel. So they just counter bomb it? I was trying to look at 2 different things at the same time. Okay, where's this blade? Axel does a good job trying to close the distance by going underneath, so he gets a blade closer to their targets. There's the dive up on the high ground. There's the blade coming in. Stun goes on to Janu, not the Genji. So they do just counterbomb this. And Hoxel's like, no, run away. Boom. He does get taken out there.
Nerf this.
Janu bombs. Is he going to be able to survive? Mirror's probably going to try and finish him off before dropping. But no, it just drops immediately. Okay.
All systems checked out. Game on.
So OG used Primal there in the back line. Yeah, I turned my mic off.
Back in the fight. How?
Okay. Next fight. 3 minutes and 30 seconds. Okay, Twilight still has the nano, didn't use it last time. Birdring getting pre-armored there. So Birdring and Mirror, how is Birdring playing this?
Boosters engaged.
Was that normal speed? That feels so fast after watching in slow motion before. Yeah, that's real-time speed.
Boosters engaged.
My eyes. Chat, tell me I'm crazy. That does not feel like one-time speed.
ATM 좀 올려볼까?
Maybe it's my brain just getting used to everything in quarter speed. So Birdring's in there again, tries to pulse bomb. Does find one, doesn't find the second because he's nanoed. Twilight's low, goes to hide.
ATM 좀 올려볼까?
Tell me it's not one-time speed. It's not one-time speed. Oh, you're a cheeky bugger, aren't you? Okay. So they've taken recontrol of the point. There's the 3 of them still playing as a little group. I like that cluster. Birdring's playing separate. OG and Space playing together. Be pretty hard for them to take. OG's going to be able to drop onto Twilight.
Feeling
is.
powerful.
Drops, just jumps vertically, goes back on the high ground, gets slept. Brutal.
No. Yeah. Time to breathe, my ECS.
Wait a second. Does Twilight just snipe Shaz in the middle of 3 of them?
Feeling powerful.
It's quiet.
Nice sleep. Sleeves in B.
No.
Oh, wow. What great plays. Oh, you're done, Twilight. There's no way you survive this. Good stuff. That was a great play from Twilight there. Let's watch this from Mirror's perspective.
I will shield you.
It's time.
A headshot too. Very nice. The little 360. I like it. Okay. Let's try this again. Let's look at their defense one more time. They're going to play still with the 3-3 and then Birdring playing kind of split. Birdring is kind of like a little roamer here, isn't he? They've still got their 2 tanks on the high ground. They're switching Winston to the other side. Jeez. The tracking is just so crazy high. Okay, so they're going courtyard. They've spotted that. How are they going to be adjusting their positioning based off of this? So remeching here. Winston's still on the high ground. Be able to drop on them, and they're bombing this area. Okay.
Time's up.
Ooh.
Nerf this.
So Space throws that bomb out here. Okay, so what's going on in this position right now? So they've still got the 2 of them together, because Brigida's farther up fighting against Janu here. Gets the stun, but what was Janu doing in the first place there? Don't really know. So they've thrown the bomb. Fissure shield is going to be low, right? But then why charge this?
Now show them. Yeah.
Okay, this seems so disorganized. Okay, so Oxel's onto the high ground. Are they just trying to transition onto this high ground here?
Nerf this.
The Slime's running. They've got that. They're not together.
Time's up. Now show them. Yeah.
So, like, Vancouver just let themselves get caught in rotation. Like, great job from Gladiators to get this rotation over as quickly as possible, especially with them trying to transition onto the high ground. I feel like if the Titans had just played a little bit closer to their strategy, they wouldn't have been able to have been taken apart so easily there. But yeah, the Titans tried to go for a rotation, and they kind of fell apart in the middle of it when Gladiators went to interrupt them. Fissure's on the cart with ball.
APM 좀 올려볼까?
Are they going for another Dragon Blade here?
You're far down with agenda.
Just a Dragon Blade, lol, forehead.
I'm gonna have to shoot you down.
There's no stopping.
I don't feel like Haxel should have chased that.
Nerf this.
Boom.
Allah till me.
Okay, let's see what happened after this Dragon Blade. So there's the Dragon Blade coming in.
Time to
Goes after the Brigida, gets him, so they're up 3 here. How did this go wrong? So OG's still there, and OG is pretty close to Primal. She tries to knock him away. He gets his Primal. Who's he chasing after? He's not really chasing after anybody.
forward barrier.
At the same time that Mirror comes in, gets back onto the high ground, survives it. Bergeron gets a frag on Haxel as he returns. They just clean up. Get 4 kills, like super back-to-back. Birdring got 2. Okay. Let's check this out. This is before the blade happened.
Excuse
Some
me
more
for
damage.
dropping in. Not even angry.
Time to raise my APM.
30 seconds remaining.
We're doing great, team. I calculate our victory is imminent.
Birdring staying alive, looking for a target.
Routing towards forward area.
Oh, that tracking! Oh my god.
10 seconds remaining.
Inhuman.
Keep it up. Orange.
Wait for it. Nerf this. Allah till men.
Good lord, that tracking. Like, how do you even think that fast? That is silly. That is silly.
Routing towards forward barrier.
Silly. This makes me just want to quit aim heroes in general. Like, look at this. It's just like Haxel. Just like. Done. Vertical track there.
Have some of that.
So fast. And Sue.
10 seconds remaining.
Where is he
Disengage.
at?
Ever get that feeling of deja vu?
Our inevitable
Love it.
victory. back.
Love it.
There's no stopping.
Wait for
He's so
it.
patient as well. I'd be killing himself in point. Yeah, especially. Oh, he blinked out of it at the last second. That's because he was in the bubble, right? Yeah. So OG delayed with the primal, and then Birdring came in and fragged 2 off the Fissure Slam. And they held. Nice. Nice stuff.
Score 0-1. Switching sides.
Okay.
Initiating match.
Probably not where Titans wanted to push it to. Probably wanted to get past that, and they had that Dragon Blade too. It just didn't work out. Birdring's alive, killed 2, got the respawns in there, had the Brigitte, because Brigitte OP apparently. How you doing, Amy? Okay, let's go. Right, Dylan?
Ready for battle.
Okay, defense playing May Reaper. They're playing the Moira.
Attackers incoming.
OG on the Zarya. Do it, coward. Okay. Let's take a look at what's going on here. Are they going to be playing Icebox? What are they going to do?
1. Attackers incoming.
Okay, so it doesn't look like they're... Or are they going to be playing inside here?
The payload.
Yeah, so the May... The May is in here. The Titans are going to go for this annoying stall. Probably sees him, tries to get the decloak. Yeah, yep, got the decloak. Yeah, it doesn't really matter that much. So the Reaper's on the far side. So they have the ability to hide in this room here and use the wall trick if they want to, which they might do. But let's see what they decide. So far they're not doing it, and they're swapping onto the Pharah. So whoever... Oh no, they're going on to Doom Reaper. Doom Reaper. Okay. Reaper's flanking around the far side.
Taking off.
Reapers are fighting each other.
Booster on. Routing towards forward barrier. I'm gonna have to shoot you down.
Okay, so not doing the little icebox strat there.
APM
Initial push in from Mirror gets punished. Fox is still alive. Counter charges from the Reinhardts. Momentary freeze on OG.
Get through this.
Space controlling the high ground. It's good. That'll add a lot of pressure. Reaper... Sorry, the Reaper, the Lucio, and the Diva all go up to challenge. OG is being pushed over. Shaz is trying to get the nade on him. He does. This fight's still going over. Alright, Birdring. Birdring with a nice little flanky flank. What'd you do here?
APM no window
Does he teleport somewhere?
Get through this.
I'll give you charging.
Move to the beat.
Oh, gee, she's going in. Yeah, so that teleport opens the fight right up. Nice heads up play from Birdring. Okay. Twilight's got the ultimate. You'll probably see that come out really quick and fast, knowing that it's the first ultimate. Warrior ultimate's almost always the first ultimate, especially in fights like that. Although the Blizzard isn't that far away, neither is the Diva Bomb for either team. Good work for both Divas. Probably we're just the ones fighting each other on top of the blue roof.
Now show them.
Okay. In together here. When's the Coalescence going to come out? Probably as soon as the Reinhardt's getting close to one another, or a little bit early. Trying to push back. Mirror tried to get something. He's out of there. He is going to survive. Fissure pin Shaz. Janu's bomb gets Space's bomb. I really didn't need anything else other than the bomb and the Coalescence. I want to see how they use that bomb, though. Janu's got the bomb here.
Surrender to my will.
Just threw it into the retreat. Got the mech, so... Yeah, so mech's not really being used for anything specific. Some initiating bombs, but most divas haven't really arrived at what is the best use case for the bomb, I guess. Okay, this is going to be a lot more interesting because there's going to be a ton of ultimates here. Both, like, Slime's a little bit farther behind, but he'll probably get it midway between the fight. Big Goose will get it at the start. Space has Bomb, OG has Shatter, but so does Fissure. Both Reapers have Death Blossom, and then Hoxel has Blizzard, and Mirror has the... So let's see how Doomfist is being played here. Are we just kind of doing frontline stuff? They don't have an Ana, they don't have really anything we need to be afraid of. Are we doing kind of forward punches? Are we trying to do like little assassination combos? I'll pause as soon as the first ult happens. There, OG shattered. OG's trying to find the backline. Looks like it's good. Yep.
Get through this.
So Suminsu using this on his own backline. Is he trying to do that as defense? Ooh. 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 Wow, okay. Let's watch that again. Okay. So Suminsu used this on his own backline, right? So he's using it as defense. Mirror comes in. Big Goose is there. And Suminsu, smart play. Like, I'm not going to say this was wrong or anything. Big Goose and Mirror both taking a lot of damage. Big Goose gets taken out. Mirror's like, nope. And he uses his Seismic Strike to get out of there. Birdring's right there. Did he teleport in? Or how did he get there? Where's Birdring? I assume it's another teleport play from Birdring here. Yeah, it's another teleport play. So he comes in, and then Shaz is right there with the nano as well.
Meteor strike.
Meteor strike. So Hoxel drops the Blizzard right at pretty much the same time that Birdring goes ham crazy with the Nano Blossom. And everybody dies. Space got the eat on Hoxel's Blizzard anyway. Nice, okay. So I am still going to want to watch Mirror's play just to see what he was trying to do during that fight.
Moving the payload, and nothing is going to stop it.
So nothing fancy. Okay, do the teams keep? Do the teams keep? Both Lucio's available. Both teams playing Doomfist now. Okay. Now, in this time, the Gladiators are taking the downtime, taking the opportunity to rotate. Space trying to get the high ground. OG going around the far side. He's got this. He's just going to drop, though. Bomb coming out. Both barriers come out. Man, some of these charges. Okay, so let's see this charge from OG. Does he just see a group of people and want to go nuts? Why can't I click on you? I guess we'll just do it this way. I guess so. Just sees a larger group of people. Goes for it. Axel's trying to chase after him. Fisher gets the mirror. Okay, I want to watch Hoxel's perspective to try and figure out more about the Doomfist plays that are going on here. Uses all of his shots. Okay.
Triple kill.
Compared to Mirror.
Only through conflict do we evolve.
Hello there.
Hello there. Winners.
So Hoxel did go for more of the backline pincer. Trying to like punch tanks in.
Heal up.
Gets the punch onto Fisher. That's good. It's destroyed. Okay. We'll have to watch more. So far, it doesn't look like there's any kind of... Like, a lot of these things I'm expecting to... You know, I'm expecting stuff on the level that we saw at the end of last season, where kind of every cooldown had its place in the meta. But right now it is extremely brawly, individual-based mechanics. We're not at the level of team play that we were at like Stage 3 or Stage 4 last year. It's, I guess I'm always kind of disappointed at the level of play early in the seasons. And, you know, maybe this is going to be the case where even with hero pools, we don't ever really see that really high level of intricacy that we previously saw. So immediately meteor striking, he should just be going back, though. Or are they going to go in on this? Wait. Where did Haxel end up? Okay, he just dropped in behind. Got a hammer on a mirror. Not gonna do anything. Okay, so mirror just uses the nano to delete slime. And they push back in. Let's see this from Mirror's perspective. So he gets slammed, he survives this though. It's nano, punching. Finished off. Still dead though. They've got the point out anyway. Like, I don't know why you use so many ultimates when the door is like right here. Whatever. Yeah, Titans used a lot of ults there, and Gladiators got 4. So, no ultimates for the side of Titan versus 4 for the Gladiators. They're on the high ground, so Hoxel has the ability to just drop off and charge punch. Exactly what he's doing. He gets counterpunched by the mirror. And then Slime finishes off mirror, but Hoxel survives. A beat to try and go in. Hoxel in trouble. Everything gets finished off. Both DPS just feed in their respective team's backline. OG's trying to go forward with the nano boost. Fissure in trouble there, yep. Okay, so that, I don't think it's gonna, well, they'll have a time to recontest for sure, but they've only got the bomb. They'll probably use the bomb to speed in. Mirror will probably backline dive with the, well, let's take a look at the bomb, and as soon as the bomb goes in, probably right after that, Mirror's gonna go in anyway. Might even go for Janu. You never know. So Mirror's already in there. Gets stunned out of it. Meteor Strike's coming in. There's the bomb up. Shoji. Shoji will die. Yep. Punched off. Trying to go back in. Sumansu's low. So is Twilight. Okay, they're still going for it. They're all back. Fissure's got the slam as well.
Meteor strike.
Gets space dropped. Pinned out of there. Wait, what? Sumansu, what?
Routing turret, forward barrier. Get through this.
Incoming.
10 seconds.
Reposition.
Okay, that makes way more sense. I was like, what? But yeah, the boop and then Big Goose, absolutely the hero there. Oh, he gets charged and just barely survives. I was confused. Nice.
Victory.
Okay, so a lot of that was based off of Titans way over ulting when they needed to hold on this last spawn. Like, how many ults did they use way back here? One more. Yeah, so they had a lot of ultimates, right? So they used bomb as well. So they had these 4. And then they used these 3 back here, right when the payload was here. And they didn't have any for last fight.
Time to raise my APM.
Fisher used Slime, Axel used Meteor Strike, Janu used Bomb, Slime died. Sumansu uses,
Turret, forward barrier.
does he use? Yeah, he uses. And then Twilight also uses Coalescence, right? And then gets slammed, like,
Boosters engaged.
what? So Titans used a ton of ultimates there. And got nothing for it. And then didn't have anything for the last fight. That sucks. Okay. So we can get back for the recontest. And this sends it to map 5, right? Otherwise, Titans would have won right here 3-1, but they didn't. Okay, so they're fighting on the high ground. Slam finds 2. Meteor Strike comes in to finish Slime. That opens it up. Crazy Twilight has another Coalescence after all that. Fisher just gets deleted. So Mirror actually did a lot this fight, is what I'm seeing.
I need healing.
Behind you.
Healing.
Payload is approaching its destination.
I am personally seeing meteor
Punch.
strike.
There's the slam onto Slime. Got him.
Stay down.
Not see the Reaper coming behind him? Oh no, that was friendly Reaper, never mind.
I need healing.
There was one point where he saves his own Reaper from the charging Reinhardt, right?
Meteor strike.
Missed that.
10 seconds.
Jeez. Such a brawly fight.
Meteor strike.
Another Meteor Strike. Oh, he didn't cancel it. He just actually just shot him in the face. You know, like, it makes stuff like this makes me think that the pro players just think on a faster rate than I do.
10 seconds.
Meteor strike.
Like right here. Oh. Well, it looks so much simpler in 25% speed, but I suppose maybe the pros see everything in 25% speed.
Nano boost administered.
Okay, that's that map done. So yeah, both teams not playing as clean as one would like to see. Vancouver definitely playing with a lot of swagger and energy, and they like to have fun, and they're getting their nano boost. But I don't actually know who won this.
Ready.
So I know that it was 5 games. I think it was the Titans who won, but I don't actually know. Okay, any questions so far? A little complacent with ults? Absolutely. Okay, well, let's take it out. Map 5, it's 2-2 right now. Okay, what are we gonna play? Probably gonna see some more sim TPs. Then probably to the center of the map. I wouldn't really expect it to be going around the edge too much. Twilight is, well, you never really know. With Baptiste, they could be going around the edge, but Ana's going to want to play more around the center of the map.
5,
Okay, so playing McCree. They're not. Gladiators aren't using the teleport.
1.
Titans
Round
are.
1. Capture the
Teleporting
objective.
him about. Suminsu going Reaper. Okay, so it's Reaper versus Kree. So this is probably, they are going to play BAP. So I would expect Titans to be going out around the edge. Yeah, so because the Titans have the Reaper and the Baptiste, they're going to be around the edge because they don't like the open areas as much as the Gladiators do with the McCree and the Ana. So with Gladiators playing here, they're going to take the half, and then they're probably going to play around this pillar while they try and poke out the Titans. But it's still going to be a game of Maywall. So the good news for the Gladiators here is that they have 2 walls, or 2 doors to pick from, and only one of them can get walled off. Still, it is going to be a little bit risky if they do just get rammed in with the Reaper and the Reinhardt. So there's the Maywall already used out. So it's really pretty early, and that does kind of put the Gladiators in an awkward position where they could walk onto the point, but they don't really want to because they still have to spend a little bit longer poking from range before they can really push those resources. There's that good play that Space and Cloudy always like doing with the... So this is something that's like, I'm starting to think of this as like pretty classic like Space Diva play, is that he likes doing these kind of like mini pincers. I'm gonna sneeze again. Why am I sneezing so much? Excuse me. Okay, so they do these like mini pincer plays in where Space kind of just hops and sets up almost like somewhere between 90 and 180 degree angle on the target that they're trying to go for. So if you look at it here, they're together and then they split, like they're around the same side. So Fissure is going to be turning to move against Cloudy, right? But if Space was with Cloudy, then he wouldn't be able to find those same angles there. Now Janu's going to get a lot of the defense matrix on there, but that's pretty much Space's classic play. It gets a lot of damage, also gets another boop angle to either move him into Cloudy or at least next to Cloudy. He does get walled off here, breaks the immortality. He's going to get demeched by the charge and then probably killed. Charge is going to knock 2? I thought I saw one more person. But yeah. Charge plus the boop. He's going to get him. Suminsu's going to get slept. Oh, and Haxel gets the headshot before Chaz could punish. Pretty close fight here. Space is here, which is going to make it a big problem for Haxel. Yep. Slime's probably going to get taken out as well. Yep. That's going to be Gladiator's first cap. Nice. I really like those openings from Space. Okay. Here we go. They're on the high ground. They're still staying on the Reaper. Okay, are they going to teleport anywhere? There's the High Noon. Not going to find anything. Tried to do the High Noon up to get an extra angle or something like that. Not going to work. Cloudy shield's really low. Never finds Haxel. Gets healed up though, so Space retreats. Now it comes out to Cloudy, trying to push in. Backing up off onto the point here. Okay, so they're pointing. Haxel gets slept. Blizzard comes out, trying to block off that doorway. They get Fissure. Okay, let's watch this again. Okay, so let's take a look at this from Jaro's perspective. They can't finish off Haxel there. So just do that in order to try and get the freeze on the Fissure, but that works. So that was just purely a Rhine isolation play, which is good. Gotta get Haxel. Defense matrix is strong. Wall isn't going to be a full split. Haxel's going to get chased down. Or is he? No, he gets out. Okay. There's a charge coming in. No, to be careful for that one. Okay. So, next one coming out here is both DPS ultimates for the size of Titans. They also got their bomb. No support ults on the field for anyone, and then Space has his bomb as well. Okay. They're probably just gonna... Okay, so both bombs being exchanged. No kills. Sleep tried to go for the Mei and didn't find anything. Cloudy's right in the center and frozen, getting healed up, getting defense matrix, but the wall is going to block off both of those. Then Space is going to get killed a moment later. Okay. So where does this Blizzard go? Freezing on Cloudy. And then Walt, no heals and no matrix. Finished off, and Space flew right into the Blizzard as well, so he gets frozen.
shields.
76%, really good time for the Gladiators, but Titans got the defense,
Taking off.
and Titans got ults too. They got the Death Blossom, they got the Hammer, they have the Window. Window is going to be an interesting one to see how the Titans use it, because if I'm not wrong, this is the first time that Baptiste has actually used his, or that Titans have used Baptiste. So, we'll have to see how they use them, whether they're going to wait for the window, or wait for the wall, or use it to get the wall out. So it's right at the corner there, right as they drop. So Twilight's got a good angle on the people who are still on the high ground. And where is the Mei? Where's Jaru? Oh! Trying to get Janu.
Need help.
Doesn't find anything though. Janu's able to escape. So they just kind of wait and chill. And the guys on the high ground, they just rotated around. They drop now, so Window didn't get much value. Ooh, high noon and the Diva is sleeping. Unlucky there. Slime doesn't catch anything. Everyone finds Lucio. Slime comes out, right as it finishes off Fisher. They're going to roll back onto the point. Let's take a look at that again. Okay. So Window's here. It's not finding anything. Window's down. Jono got out as well. So now they're pushing in. So let's take a look at this from Birding's perspective. He sees one. Reaper race out of here. Slime gets finished off. He wanted to... Really good play. And that was with the speed boost, right? I'm like 90% sure that was with the speed boost. Yeah, it was with speed boost. Nice fall up there as well. How you doing, Carlos? Welcome back. Thank you for the 50 stars, my friend. Okay. Yeah, counter that with the speed boost high noon. It's a lot more powerful than I think teams are giving it credit. But it's good stuff. Jazz has the nano boost.
Defense matrix activated.
Okay, last fight here. So Titans got the Death Blossom and the Blizzard. That's good for them, but they need to somehow get by space. Shaz has the nano as well. So probably also going to be onto Cloudy. Jaro will have the Blizzard pretty soon, pretty much mid-fight, as long as he lands a couple right-click or just a little bit of freeze. So let's see how this plays out. Fisher's going to drop. He gets isolated. They're going to press hard on that, especially with Cloudy getting the nano boost. They're backing off here. Cloudy's frozen. Pushed a little bit too hard there, 96%. They are going to get on the point. Jano got frozen, and then there's the Blizzard coming out. Oh, Jano got his mech canceled by the freeze. Yikes. But Jano's going to go and kill himself and then get his mech back, probably. Yep, that's exactly what he did. Okay, so how did the rest of the team win while that was happening on the point? So pushing back in. Shaz drops the Blizzard. Yeah, Twilight finished off Shaz. Space gets cleaned up. Okay, so he was off of trying to punish Fissure too hard here, right? Okay. So they get a good split, but they're not in a position to punish. Like, they're not playing Reaper, and Fissure's able to move out of the way pretty quickly here. Let's take a look at this. There's the wall. Body immediately starts to go forward, and Sumin Su was already low ground. So maybe that was actually kind of a bait. Very potential that that was a bait with Sumin Su already being there. Fissure dropping, then immediately moving over towards the side. Looked pretty smooth. They're already there. The wall goes down. Oh, wait. Did they wall themselves above the wall? Is this a genius level play? Did they wall themselves over the other wall in order to go and save Fissure? With Sumin Su on the low ground? If so, big brain. Wall. Wall. Nice. Nice stuff. Then they go down, and they're able to finish off Cloudy, who got baited in. Nice. Those are the plays we like to see. Good stuff. Big brain wall. Okay, 66%. Gladiators just need one cap. They've got beat, they've got bomb. They're going against Barrier and Blizzard. Gonna be more challenging. Okay, there's bomb coming in.
冻住，不许走！
Gets the immortality field, but nothing else. There's the window on the corner. Big Goose is looking for him. Big Goose is still playing with Twilight in the background. Okay, nothing was found except for Cloudy. Are they going to wait for him? How did Cloudy die?
Nerf this！ 冻住，不许走！
He just frozen out. Just by the blizzard, okay. They don't find anything with that high noon, so are they gonna wait for Cloudy? Where's Cloudy? Cloudy's over there. 596. Space touches. Only got a touch within the last few seconds, so they're good. Cloudy's back. Slam gets one. It gets the Mei down. Are they gonna finish him off? No, they're not. So they trade out. Fissure's still low, but he's in his immortality. Should drop pretty soon, though. Body's gonna finish off. Oh! Fissure with the charge, man. That was huge. That was big, big, big. Yeah, look at this. Shaz nanos Cloudy. Fissure blocks this slam from Cloudy first. And then they're still fighting. Fissure's in the immortality, getting a little bit of heals up from Baptiste. Cloudy wants to finish him off. Hits him once. He's pretty much about to be dead. And then Fissure's like, time to charge, my boy. And actually catches the pin on Cloudy right as the nano expires, and he finishes him off. Huge plays from Fissure. Huge plays. Fire Strike. Gonna hit the wall, because that's what you do. Janus Bomb to remech, forces everybody inside. Gets Shaz, and then it's just the Mei, and that should be, wow, window. Completely overkill, but, I mean, what else are you gonna use it, yeah? Nice! Gladiators almost had that, but Titans taking it. Titans taking it. Okay, next map.
Score 0-1.
Yeah, especially on this map, Widow is not the greatest.
Ready for battle.
I mean, it does come down to preference. What the heck? What the heckers was that? Oh yeah, Widowmaker is played sometimes, but you know, you never really know what's viable and not. I think it's a mistake to say that what the pros are playing or is the best composition, the best meta at all points in time. Like, you know, this example is used over and over and over again, but it's because it's a good example. Like, the patch that enabled GOATs existed for literal months before GOATs was actually developed as a composition. So, yeah, this is probably not the final form. There are probably compositions and strategies that still need to be perfected and developed, all that. So if you're like, I think Zarya is stronger. It's like, I think Widowmaker should be played more. It's entirely possible you're right. We're on week 1, and we have only seen a very, very small percentage of the teams play in the Overwatch League so far. So I'm learning, but I think the one thing that I'm learning so far just from watching these games is that all of the pros and teams are very, very unpolished.
Round 2. Capture the objective.
Okay, here we go. Okay, so the rollouts here should be pretty standard here, but let's take a look at them anyway. Yep. Okay, so Titans are going to be playing with the Baptiste and the Lucio, so they're sticking with this Baptiste. They're playing the Mei Reaper. They seem to absolutely love that composition. Gladiators certainly favoring the Moira more than other teams we've looked at, and also playing the Mei Reaper. Okay, so the Mei walls are certainly going to be probably the biggest thing to worry about, especially in this area. So let's start with Jaru, this perspective, to try and get this initial... See if you can get this initial wall. Not going to get anything off of that one. So now let's take a look at Haxel's perspective. Now he's going to use it. Yeah, that's much better. Okay, so they get Cloudy off of that wall. Like, you don't really need to split the entire team. Just putting it directly behind the Reinhardt in a lot of cases is more than enough. I haven't been super impressed with Jaru's Mei, but Axel's been playing pretty good. Okay. Next attack, Twilight's almost got the window already up. That's another one that I'm interested in seeing play, especially how the Meis play around it and how they play around the Mei. So far the windows haven't gotten a lot of value. It's a hard ult to actually get, you know, distinct value from. Okay, let's turn this back off. Okay, so they're fighting in this area. This is going to be really hard for walls to get value. Did they not wall here? Oh, okay, so they did wall. They got 3 off. Or 4, rather. Yeah, 4 is probably more than what you want, but it's better than letting all 6 through. Fire Strike's not going to find anything. Birdring's trying to go through. Who are they chasing after next? Shaz and them broke through the wall. Fisher's like, no, Birdring, go, get off me. Is he gonna charge? Gonna hit that charge? No. Birdring's getting some lifesteal in there, but Slime's gonna finish him off. This is a brawl for the ages. Suman Su's just gonna clean house. Okay, so Vancouver Titans wins that fight just off of a good wall. I will really enjoy this game once Mei is gone.
I'm back in the fight.
So much comes down to these walls actually getting value, and I really don't think using the walls to just not get walled yourself is enough. Okay, so are they going to try this again? Are they going to try bridge? Trying to go fast just to make sure. Okay, so that's a little bit of an interesting one right there. So I think what they're trying to do is bait and switch. So they're going the far side. The Mei is going to move over there to be in a good position in order to wall them off. Like, you'll watch Haxel's perspective here, right? So they're going to move over, and right here they see the Mei, right? So they see the Mei, and then immediately they start going back the other direction to try and get to the other choke. So like as soon as they confirmed that that Mei was going there, Cloudy's going to be charging over, goes across and gets here. Now Fisher does the same thing and charges over. Slime's here as well, looking for boops, everything. So they're back, but they're better. They get that wall off behind the Fisher, but Cloudy doesn't go forward because he's low on HP. They're still pushing. Oxel still has Hill his wall up, and he also has a Blizzard. Gets Cloudy. Gets the freeze. Background, Suman Su. Let's take a look at Suman Su here. Come on, Suman Su. Okay. So forces Birdring out. So again, tried to use the Death Blossom more or less just to get the one kill on Birdring, but obviously in a very nice, juicy kind of middle of the team position. Gets 2 extra kills, then gets the DMEC. Not bad. I want to see what Haxel is doing here. Okay, so Haxel knows that they're trying to go across. He's not going to be able to get a wall here, so he's just trying to get some right clicks. Tries to get a little bit of a stall there on the split crossing, so that's why he used. That's where he used his wall and why. Oh no, what did I click? Okay, so he goes here. Then Birdring goes in. He's trying to get Blizzard, but at the same time it was Jaru who was behind, right? Gets the freeze onto the D.Va and the Baptiste. Finished off by Janu, though. Okay. So Suman Su wins that fight for the Titans. The Titans have a very, very sizable command here. This is basically... This is going to be last fight if they lose. I guess that's kind of match point, I suppose. Are they going to try and do the same thing? It's going to be really hard to break into this against the Mei. Hawk's still going to be looking from there? Oh, I thought that Hawks... No. So they're going to stay more on the point. They don't want to be tried to fool by that twice. There comes the wall from Jaru here. Now, this is the kind of wall that you normally see that's trying to allow them to get onto the point without interruption. But not going to happen here. Space is going to be able to touch this. So they're just waiting for that wall to come out. Try and put some pressure on Haxel. Space Law taking a lot of damage. Going for the bomb.
Now show them time to raise my APM.
Yeah, that's a lot of damage. Finally a window got some value. Nice work, Twilight. Do this again. Go back a little bit farther. Okay.
Got you good as new.
Well, I guess we go in order right here. This is going to be try and be a wall from Jaru in order to get onto the points. They do get blocked off. And after this, we switch to Twilight's perspective. So he's healing up Haxel, trying to do some damage to Space. Space goes D-Neck. Immortality drops. Kites get some range. They finish off Birdring. Slams into Big Goose. Big Goose is going to get charged out of there. And then just smashing the damage out. Good stuff. And that's going to be all she wrote. Victory for the Vancouver Titans.
Victory.
Okay. Oh, stretch. Stretch and yawn. Okay, so what do I think about this game? Shaz and Big Goose, really good. Definitely liked them. So I'll just go here so I can see it. Yeah, Shaz and Big Goose did really well. Big Goose, I felt like, had more impact than the Lucias that I watched in the New York and the Boston game. Shaz also played extremely well. Space is an absolute monster on Diva. And Cloudy is a little bit charge happy for me, and I don't think he has the greatest positioning. At certain times he makes some interesting decisions and either ends up isolated or tries to get a pin and just barely misses them, which is, you know, more unlucky. It's just a couple kind of data points, not enough to count him out entirely, but he is a little bit more on the aggressive side. Birdring, really, really good on like the McCree and the Tracer. Did a really good job. The Reaper, not as much. He didn't get as much success. Reapers, I think, are overvalued in this meta. Like, I'm surprised to see so much Reaper. I definitely feel like the McCree is stronger, even though the Reaper ultimates are getting a lot more value than I had suspected. At the same time, you know, they're getting countered pretty often, but they're also being used to win individual duels, and sometimes with the Nano Boost, you know, at the end of the day, if there is kind of no more Diva Mech or no more Diva Matrix, they are getting a ton more value. So interested to see the success of the Reaper, but I don't think it was still as successful as I don't think it was successful enough to warrant the amount of its use. Mei is still a piece of shit. It's just, yeah, Mei is not that interesting to watch, and kind of like a lot of fights come down to Mei walls. Blizzard's really strong. Fissure, very good main tank. I think that he's a massive upgrade over Bumper. Janu is also really good. I don't think he's shone as much as Space did, but maybe that's just because, I don't know. Janu is a lot more kind of just, he's very even-footed. He's kind of like, he's not weighted to the aggression, he's not really weighted to the defense. He's very adaptable, so he doesn't really stand out as much. Twilight did really good, Rouge et Hong did really well, and Slime didn't have as much of an impact as Big Goose, but he still showed up to the game. So overall, I think that both teams still have room to improve. I liked Gladiators' strategies overall, but they need, like, the 2CP really, really didn't work out. And then Titans, they, like, their composition with the Nanoblades, good. Surprised to see kind of how effective it was. So, especially with so many stuns and potential things, like, there were, you know, it almost feels like there's so many things where it's like, if you knew this was coming or if you had practiced against it, you could have dealt with it. But even though they did use the Nanoblade quite successfully a couple times, they didn't actually always capitalize the win off that, even when the Nanoblade did get 3, like happened on Hanamura one time, as well as what happened on the end of Dorado there. But that was also because Haxel chased the Diva at the very end there. So I definitely think the Titans are the better team. They seem good, like pretty good. They're not perfect by any stretch. I would definitely put them around the top 5 area. And the Gladiators, yeah, I think Jaru's a little bit of a weak point. He still needs, Jaru and Cloudy felt weaker to me. I'd still put them, you know, on the lower end of the top 10, like around in the probably like 7 to 10 range. But yeah, good game overall. Yeah, I think the Gladiators could have made it even closer. You know, they dropped the ball. It was a 5-game series, but they dropped the ball pretty hard on Li Zhang, and they also dropped the ball pretty hard on Hanamura. And that's what I think. What do you guys think? Your mic is getting lower randomly? Could just be the noise gate. Do you think OG and Mirror starting would be better? No? I mean, OG is going to be probably way better at Winston. Cloudy seemed okay at Reinhardt, but OG is definitely... I would bet money that OG is a better Winston player than Cloudy, so you'd probably play him in areas where you want him on Winston. And then Mirror didn't really impress from the very little that I saw. How much do you think the hero pools will affect Overwatch League? Will we see better quality games, or is it just going to turn into what's meta this week? You know, there's definitely going to be the point. I think that hero pools are going to be on such short notice that teams aren't going to be able to adapt to the same thing. There's going to be very few days, so people will come up with different things. However, I am feeling like it's going to be a lot closer to kind of what we saw. A lot closer to what we saw today, where there's more of these brawly matches where there's a lot of individual plays and mechanical plays, or kind of people improvising and do little carries or little big brain plays in the middle in order to win fights. Like, there were very few, not very few, but relatively fewer strategic level calls to actually discuss in this, because it was kind of this initial exchange of cooldowns and then a pretty big brawl overall. So I'm worried that if we do get into hero pools, the analysis side of it might be lower. We're going to have to start looking more at kind of the individual creativity of people on the heroes and how they play and how they interact and their pop-offs kind of mid-fight, rather than more macro level strategy, simply because you're not going to have the same time for these strategies and tactics to actually develop. So it is going to be a lot more heavily weighted on the actual success of the players themselves as individuals playing these heroes mechanically, from a decision-making perspective on an individual basis, not on a macro level. You're still going to have benefits of improvising, like having a good shot caller is still going to be a massive benefit, but still, if your shot caller, for example, gets his hero banned and he can't play something else, or he can't make those same pop-off plays on anything other than his main hero, that's going to be a bit of a challenge. We will see great teams turn crappy and vice versa. It will be fun to watch. It will be interesting. I think some teams are going to have spectacular flameouts with specific hero bans, and other teams get jumped up if things go their way with the balance patch. I don't think it'll send them too far one way or another, but you never know. Maybe one team does practice something that's just ridiculously overpowered for 1 week. Yeah, I definitely think that Jaro is the weakest link.